Let's do it.
Let's do it.
What is going on, everybody? It is Toys Day, aka Thursday on ToyzAlive, and I'm just gonna give you a quick little recap for those of you. Me and I, you normally fly in like right on the dot, but we for some reason were both sitting here with like 5 minutes to spare, and so we actually talked. He was choking down Triscuits. We were talking about Thanksgiving coming up that we're gonna have with Trash Joy Studios. We were talking about Barbarian Rage coming in here and how we're raging for Barbarian Rage. Sorry if that
That
was
was good.
loud.
That was good. That was good.
And I didn't warn you though. I meant to bring it up even actually before the show, but I didn't warn you. I'm running on like 3.5 hours sleep. So we're probably
Mm.
gonna have either a super crazy manic crumbs or we're gonna see a huge crash any minute now. But it's also exciting. It's a gamble. That's part of the fun.
I think we're getting a little bit of both, obviously, right now. And then I think as we start tailing off, you'll probably wind down a little bit. But knowing you, absolutely. I was just going to say right on cue and cue the coffee. Thank you very much. What's up, everybody? Lynn's the Rat Boy just got a package out to Australia for you. Pocket Salsa, what's going on with him? He is not in here tonight, so what's up, dude? Looks like drive safely. Slightly adrift, what's up? Dylan Clements also getting a package. What's going on, dude? Bunch of Canadians and Australians in here right now. What's going on?
American sleepers.
Yeah, yes, man. Jeez.
Don't forget that live chat. Don't forget that little like button. It's gonna be an exciting episode tonight, man. I'm actually really excited to have Barbarian Rage in. In my opinion, he's one of those like celebrity status type of guests. And one of the most difficult things about being a celebrity is also maintaining a very good image. That dude has been nothing but like humble and kind and given to the community and I'm gonna bug him about it actually when he's in here too, because he shared it even recently. My brain always thinks about this. One of the first cool posts I remember him sharing were those freaking Day Glow War Dukes, man, from back in the day. Those
Nice, yeah.
that Day Glow, because I remember him saying that that's like a recipe that he took a while to fine tune. So I can't wait to poke his brain about that before we drag him on in here and give him the old. You got anything, man? What you want to lay out? What's going on?
Just real quick, Stormico Station, Bootleg Toyco, Recycle Galaxy, Dre, Zimico, and going back to what you were saying about people being super cool, right? Right on cue, man. I just opened a box from Zimico. You, my friend, are a straight up maniac. You talk about, let me just share with you real quick, all right? So I bought some large pieces. I got in there and hadn't been in there a while, dude. It's one of those shops where if you go in there, you're buying something. So I've been trying to not be in there. So I go in there and I just see, these beautiful, massive resin pieces. And they came in today. Thank you. And there was 2 giveaways in there. Look at this monster. That's a giveaway. I don't even know how big that is, man. That's probably 10, 9, 10. That's amazing. That's going to be a giveaway. Not tonight.
Gorgeous.
But it will be. Yeah, beautiful. And then how about this one, dude? Oh, my God. Oh, I just saw it in the light. Yowza. It's like a translucent blue and green. Oh, that's sicky. Love that one.
The dude's a machine, and you know what?
Mm.
You can tell he's gotta have such a huge fucking heart, man. I bet he gives such good hugs.
Dude, look at the paint on these.
The teeth, every damn time I'm blown away by the fucking teeth. Man, actually too, and I'm not gonna pull it down right now. We've shown it before, but that was probably the most beautiful part about that fucking Astro Cat, the fake Astro Cat. The tears. That broke my little heart, man. We don't deserve that shit. It was all a ploy. That's why we did it. We did it for your toys. No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But that's sick. Thank you, man. So yeah, these will be going to somebody at some point. They're going to be separate, but God, I mean, the size of the box, dude. Like every time that I order something, that's always massive pieces. So this box comes in that's like this big. And I had missed it somehow on my porch, and my daughter grabbed on. I'm like, oh, what's that? Oh, it's for me. You don't say. Nice. Thank you, man. That was very, very generous. So those will be going out sometime. There was something else. Shoot.
Well, while you're thinking about that, I'm going to interject really quickly with this because recently I've been going out into the world doing things that I fucking hate doing, but I've been doing them. And today I felt really dope because you know what? Every now and then I feel like the amount of power that can be in a fucking toy, man. This guy here today came with me and made the day just a little extra better. That freaking death dealer by One Trick Pony, man. Because I was out there dealing death all day. Sorry, down to the sickness, if you know. Sorry.
Yep, I know. I do know. Yeah. Well,
in that case, do we pull in the... Now, this is going to be another fun one. Is it Scott Cherry or is it Barbarian Rage? And do you think he's related to Don Cherry, the Hawking legend? And do you think he gets asked that all the time, so I should not fucking ask that? Or will he, is he watching this right now? He's going to know anyways.
Let's just back up. You said who? Don Cherry? Who the fuck is Don Cherry?
He was basically just like an angry ex-hockey coach that then ended up having basically almost like after hockey, it'd be Hockey Night in Canada Live, and you'd have this guy that would basically just like talk about the game with his like pincer bulldog or whatever, and he would always wear like plaid suits with a matching plaid like tie, but he would be very calmly just kind of like, I think they played like shit tonight, Jim. You know what I mean? Just like one of those kind of dudes. Like, so he's kind of like a Canadian legend.
I like that. I don't know if if I saw him who he was, dude, but when you say the name, I'm just like, I don't know who Don Cherry is. I feel like I should know who that is. Don Cherry is a hockey legend, says Pocket Salsa. That's what I'm saying, man. Hockey's not too big out in California, dude, believe it or not. That being said, we do have an indoor hockey rink here that has like a local team, the Jets. Yeah, anyways.
That being said, last thing before we can actually get on the real topic of interest here, toys. Barbarian Rage. The Mighty Duck movies, is that team in Anaheim, Colorado or Anaheim, California?
California.
No shit. Well, hockey's big there then, and because I've seen all three of those movies and they love hockey. Them boys love hockey there.
They have two hockey teams down there. They got the Kings and the Ducks. We got the San Jose Sharks up here, man, but they're about 2 hours south of me. I've been to a few games and they're amazing. They're really cool. Anyways, Barbarian Rage in the house tonight. Let's do it.
Sir Barbarian Rage, I have said that a bit. You're going to see it there. I hate being in the waiting room, man. It's always annoying being in the waiting room, so I apologize keeping you in there for so long.
Got Cherry. Oh, there we go.
I like how you went right with Scott Cherry.
There we go. Join audio. Do I go portrait or landscape? How do you want this?
Oh man, that's good.
I kind of like that.
Is that that's a landscape?
This is.
I'm loving the fit.
It's a terrible landscape, but there you go. All right. Do I have anything embarrassing behind me? I didn't even clean up or anything.
No, we usually do a quick scan for anything embarrassing in the background. So far, you're good, man. Dude, I'm loving your jacket, by the way. Thanks, you are looking sharp.
It's like a 70s cowboy jacket that I found at a thrift store.
I can get down with that, man. How are you doing this evening?
Doing very well, thank you. How are you? How are the boys?
Okay.
Good. It's another Thursday night, man. Just kind of plugging along, just another sit down with Scott Cherry, Barbarian Rage. Dude, do people come up to you and go, "What's up, Barbarian Rage?" or "What's up, Barbarian?" or "What's up, Rage?"
I get Barbarian Rage or Scott. I answer to both. I have an identical twin brother. A lot of people call me Adam. I've gotten called Adam so many times. There's one guy, he goes, "Hey, Adam," and I look, and he goes, "Oh, hey, man," and I go, "Oh, I'm not actually Adam," and he's like, "Well, then why did you answer to Adam?" it's actually my twin brother. And he's like, and he didn't believe me. So anyway, I get at him a lot.
Oh man, dude, go ahead, Crumbs. It was right on the tip of your tongue, man.
I was gonna actually be safe, and I was actually gonna ask, what are some of the most annoying questions that you have had to answer the most frequently over the years
The
that we
most
can
frequently,
avoid?
the most annoying thing is everyone always asking me if I'm related to Don Cherry. Stop asking me if I'm related to Don fucking Cherry. It's not true. It's a fucking lie.
Urban legend, man. Urban legend. No relation.
I never knew who that was until you just said the name. I don't know anything about hockey either. No relation. No relation.
Yeah, good sport, man. I was not expecting that one, man. You know what? Actually, you're also on several different shows lately. You're a witty man.
Oh well, go on
Dude,
now.
I'll tell you
No,
what, man. I knew Scott was cool when I met him at DesignerCon a couple years ago, and I think he said motherfucker probably 3 times in the first 2 minutes we were talking, and I'm just like, I love this dude, man. What a fucking great dude.
Yeah,
Are you doing
thank you.
DesignerCon this year?
Yes, yes. I'm doing DesignerCon. I'm actually doing the Toy Art Gallery Festival this weekend. It's Tag Fest. I'm splitting with Epoch, but then at DesignerCon, I'm right next to Epoch. Epoch splitting with Killer Napkins, and it's going to be me and Epoch. So for the next couple months, I'll be rolling with Epoch. You know.
Nice. Well, you're out there in SoCal anyways, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Easier for you to get out there.
Yeah, I'm right down the road from Mattel.
You know what? I think we talked about that at one time or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Damn.
You can
that
see
must be
it
fun.
from the yard. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
No, I've been down there a couple times. The store that they have over there is like the Mattel garage sale, where it's like this didn't do really well, and we're liquidating it. So, but no. Anyway, yeah, that's where I'm from. I'm in SoCal.
All right, man. So, God, dude, I don't even know where to start, man. Resin, comics. Which one of those came first for you as far as producing stuff?
Oh, it was toys. I mean, the comic book came out. I started the comic book during COVID. And you know, I started that. I've always wanted a book. I've always been I've always loved comic books. I've always spent all my money on comic books and at toys and yeah, I mean, I really wanted to do one, and I really wanted to. I don't know why I always have such a problem talking about the comic book, because it's so many facets. It's a completely different beast. You know,
Yeah.
I have the third issue done. It's been done for a long time. I can't get it to press. I don't know if there's a mental block there or not, but I mean, it's done and it's ready to go. And then I'm going to do one more comic book to compile into the graphic novel. And then I'm going to say, like, it's going to be like, that was a bucket list thing, man. I crossed it off. It's such a massive amount of work. And I do love it. But, you know, I mean, maybe if there was like more time in the day, but you know, the toys, you know, I wanted the comic book and the toys and everything, you know, that when I was growing up, it was very hard to have a toy line apropos of nothing. You had to have by the very least a comic book tie-in. You know, there had to be a mythology surrounding the toy. And I wanted that, really bad. And that's what I did, and I took it seriously too, because uh if you want to go way back, in my 20s, when I was just getting out of high school, that's when the independent film boom had exploded. Clerks and Reservoir Dogs, and and I worked at a video store, and I know, Quentin Tarantino worked at a video store. I'm like, I'm just like Quentin Tarantino, man. And me and Adam, we wanted to make a movie. All of my friends, we were all into animation, and Adam and I are like, we're gonna do a stop motion clay animated show. It was gonna be like a 15-20 minute thing. And we worked on it for years and spent every dollar we had on it. And after 3 years of drunken shenanigans, we didn't even get 1 second of animation. But we had, a huge set and all the props and all the stop motion puppets and the audio recording. We had everything except the actual cartoon. Besides any actual animation. So when I did the comic book, that was sort of like the redemption for the cartoon that never got made. So yeah, I've had lots of layers, lots of different steps to get to toys. Like when you say, like, was it toys first or comics? It's like, it was actually like 1,000 other things.
Yeah.
But how I really landed on toys was, I quit drinking because I hated my job. I don't know if I've told this story a million times, so stop me if you heard it, but I hated my job so much. And
Which was?
I was painting fishing reels at a fishing reel factory.
Okay, stop right there. First of all, bro, I have never even heard of that profession before. Did you say painting fishing reels at a fishing reel shop? Hand painting them?
It was at a factory. They made the fishing reels there, and no one's ever done it because it was sort of like a industry secret. They were painting on this anodized aluminum.
Right.
It was like this metallurgical process that they sort of figured out themselves, and they hired. They needed an artist to paint fishing reels. I would sit there and paint fishing reels for 10 hours a day. And
was it like custom stuff that you could do on your own, or was there like something that you had to, like, just a monotonous pattern that you had to do over and over and over again? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of fish scales, a lot of painting fish scales, fish scale. Okay. It was sort of like pinstriping too, because also painting on the metal, you couldn't mess up. There was no erase. You couldn't paint white over it. Once it was on the metal, it was on the metal. You couldn't even touch it. You would leave a fingerprint on it. It was incredibly difficult.
Yeah. So that became a drag.
Real quick.
Well, you're like on a machine at that point.
Yeah, it was. I was.
That's what I mean.
Really good at it.
Yeah, I'm like, you're basically a machine at that point. Like, you're literally you're just an automaton almost at that point. No wonder you were hating it, man.
Yeah. So, but that job afforded me I could listen to podcasts all day. And when I got serious about quitting that job, I got serious about quitting drinking. And because I was like, one time I got wasted, and I went in 3 hours late the next day, and no one said anything. Because they loved me at that job and they sort of needed me. And I was in 3 hours late. I'm like, they're never going to fire me from this job. And I've become too complicit at this job. And I need something to move me along. And I started listening to business podcasts, how to create a small business. And I did. It was sort of like Andy Dufresne, scraping away at the wall a little bit at a time. And then it was just like one night there was the storm. I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here, man. And I did. And, it took the form of the small business took the form of TOYZ. It wasn't that cut and dry. It wasn't like I'll get into toys. Toys have been a huge part of my life forever. I actually, even before doing the toys, I was doing portraits of toys. I was painting pictures of toys, but it wasn't the real thing. It just got to a point where I was like, I have to make toys. And so I did.
Yeah. On Bootleg Overdose the other night, I think we were talking about, dude, and it surprised the hell out of me, man. You said that you were at a table with Has No Talent at a show, I want to say back in 2015, 2014.
It was a while back. Yeah.
Something like that. And was that, had you already been doing it for a while at that time?
And I want to say that was like my first year that I had quit my job. And that whole year was fraught with panic and Designer Con was always the big show, and Buzzard Guts reached out to me and was like, do you want to split this table? And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, man. I love Dane. I love him. You guys have you guys had him on?
No.
He's such a funny guy. I love him to pieces. Anyway, so we split, but then when I show up, there's two other guys in the booth. He's like, it's actually four of us now. And I was like, wow, okay. But Has No Talent, dude. He built like 8 shelves and filled the whole thing, dude. And it was like 500 all different Boba Fett bootlegs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. Hip Hop Trooper came into the booth, and that guy, people follow him around like the Star Wars Messiah, man.
Yeah.
Wow. If you don't mind, when you were coming out onto the scene and some like being at a show with somebody like Has No Talent, and it might not even actually be that he was maybe big at that time or anything, but having that many figures, do you think that even brought like people to you guys and therefore saw some of the other dudes that were at that table? Or
that was a weird year because it was like, here's Designer Con, and it's this big massive thing, and they packed this convention center in Pasadena, and it had gotten so big that they opened this tiny little annex over here, and that's where we were. We got pigeonholed, and it was like right next to this bathroom, and everyone's like running to the bathroom, and they're like, I didn't even know this was here. Actually, being right next to the bathroom, that kind of saved us that year, because everyone's like running in and out of the bathroom. But I forgot the question. I don't know. It was splitting with all those guys. Of course, it was learning. It was a learning experience because, look, man, I had 3 things, 3 dinky little things, and they were laying flat on the table. I had no display. I had no game. I nothing. I think those were some of my first carded figures even. And then when I showed up, I remember Has No Talent had like a little thing, like a little picture, like a little tripod, and he's like, here you go. And he set my toy up, and I was like, that's how that's how new I was. I was just like, well, I just show up and I just put it on the table and it sells. But I didn't even think about bringing a display or whatever.
So and then the resin, and so I'm just gonna kind of fast forward to the resin real quick. I'll
Yeah,
circle back on that with some of these other pieces, dude. But let's talk about this vinyl piece, man. There's a couple of them,
sure.
right?
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like a He-Man toy in which there's only one, and then you change the color and the clothes, and it
Yeah,
becomes
right.
different.
Um,
Yeah.
so the vinyl toy, man, is that now? Do you collect at all?
Yes.
Okay.
I used to think my collection. I used to be like, my collection is out of hand. Yeah, I've got too much stuff. But then I see everyone else's collection, and I'm like, I feel overwhelmed by my collection. But when I see other people's collection, I'm like, I actually have a very small collection. But it's very important to me, the things that I do have. But I do collect. There was a long time there where I put a freeze on my collection. And actually, I took some time out to figure out what is my collection. And how do I want to display this? And it took a long time to even figure that. I'm like a tree ant from Lord of the Rings, where it's like, we've thought for 3 years about something and we're all this close to coming to a conclusion. And so my collection, it's in the office. It's obviously not this pile of junk, even though there is stuff scattered all over. But I do collect. Yes.
Yeah. So that was a total sidebar on what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you about the
oh,
piece.
sorry. Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah.
So the vinyl piece, man. So is that kind of like did you already always know that you wanted to do a vinyl piece? I mean, it seems like vinyl pieces to me, just within the resin community, there's more and more people that are branching out and doing vinyl stuff. Did that have any influence on you wanting to go and do a vinyl toy now, or is that something that you thought of before? Like, man, someday I'm going to have a vinyl figure.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was when I first started resin, because in my brain, it was like Sucklord and Killer Bootlegs and a few other guys. And in my brain, I was like, everyone that makes toy, this is, I had a very narrow vision where I said, this is what a toy maker is. And, it's a little 3 3/4 inch toy on a card. But it wasn't until, it wasn't until I got onto Instagram, I saw Retro Band. And it was that big like gnarly looking vinyl. And I remember looking at the hashtag Safubi and I was like, what the fuck is a Safubi? I'm on Wikipedia. I'm not gonna pretend like I've always been like this, like this toy lord or whatever. But when I saw that, because it's big too, and I was like, that's the toys that I should be making. I was like, how do you make a big fucking thing, And
Right.
so ever since then, it's always been, that has been a goal. It's always my goal is to do something bigger and better than the last thing. And it's just, it's a lot of money going into vinyl. And I get so apprehensive about things because every project that I do, I always have to say, like, this has to be the coolest thing that you've ever done. Because in 3 or 4 weeks, you're going to be like, this thing is dog shit. Because you worked with it for so long, and right around a month, is when you start looking at the thing and you're like, this isn't any good. I don't like this. And it becomes very hard to look at it that way. So with a vinyl toy, it's not only are you working that hard to make something cool, but it's also like this massive investment, you know. And it wasn't until just a couple weeks ago that, you know, I started putting all that crazy armor on them, because that was my original vision for the toy. Because usually I like very detailed stuff, and this toy has very little detail, and that scared me, you know. But the first time, like this thing, this, as soon as I got the boots on, you know, the bracers, boots, the pauldrons, and like the tasses, like the belt and everything, like that's when I was like, this is exactly what I wanted from this toy. This was the vision. You know, much like a He-Man toy, where it's like, put different armor, change the color, give him a different weapon, give him a different head, and now you've changed He-Man into Faker and Merman into Stinkor. You know, so.
Well, no offense, I think you're downplaying even the armor, man. Like the craftsmanship in that armor is astounding. The cuts on that are friggin'
Thank you.
precise. Like that
No,
is
see, I can't.
clean, man.
I can't take credit for that, because the detail on the armor, it just got away from me. And like that vinyl stuff, you know, I have the hand of a surgeon even when it comes to that, and that stuff is finicky, to say the least. And I broke down and I bought a Cricut. It's a die cutter. And so I designed all of the armor independently, and then I just have, and it just goes, and then you pull it off. So like here, I'll
So
show you,
smart.
like these, this, you know, this is the same exact program. This is almost
Oh, that's so
the
bad.
same. That's the same armor, basically. You know, you just use a different material.
Dude, are you having to rivet all those together?
Yeah, I
Oh,
am.
fuck off.
But that was the original. That was the original thing. You know, and this even has. I mean, it comes off like He-Man armor too, like the straps, and then this is even
Oh,
like a
no
little.
way. That is,
This is even like a, yeah.
little, like, are those like watch clasps? Like what would those
Yeah,
even
they
be? Oh
are.
my
Mhm.
frig, dude.
Yeah,
No, this is
that's
like a
sick.
little. Here, I showed a little bit of. I had to edit. I put this video of me putting this together on Instagram, but I'm editing the video and I can see I have dirt under my thumbnail, and I'm like, oh my god, dude!
Oh,
And I
the
had to edit.
worst.
I had to edit it real quick, and like I like cropped out my thumb. So embarrassed. I'm like, but I'm not shooting this thing again, man. But this is like this right here. This is like a little
Oh man. Okay.
class. So figuring all of this stuff out, it took so long. I mean, it it was a lot of work, but I'm really happy.
It's
I'm really happy with how
gorgeous.
it kind of. Thanks. Yeah, the armor is what I I was really looking forward uh, to doing, because now it's just going to get crazy. I mean, like, you know, I I debuted the toy at PowerCon, and I was like, just wait, you know, because this isn't just going to be like the armor being cut plates out like off of the Cricut, but I also am experimenting with some sculpted armor casting, and mounting that armor on, um because I haven't tortured myself enough yet. But
Well, and the sword, right? The sword is metal.
Yeah, this is
Is that pewter?
yeah, it's a pewter sword. And that too, it comes in this in a holster.
Mm.
Pulls out a filthy red and black one.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry.
Man.
This is the Tag Fest exclusive.
Oh, my bad.
Oh,
That's
Sorry, guys. My bad.
yeah,
dude, that
I
is
sort of
sick.
showed this on accident. I was gonna get no here.
Looks
This
like it was a
is
ToyzAlive exclusive. Ta-da!
Gorgeous, man. That one's gorgeous as heck.
and yeah, it's got the red skull inside the chest and like the dual armor. The boots I think turned out pretty wicked.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Dude, you have an insane amount of material on that thing, dude.
it's a lot. It's a
Mm.
lot. It's a lot, and
And are you doing
a
any
lot.
of the painting on the figure, or are you just assembling them? Or how does that go? When you receive the parts, are you building anything from there besides putting the armor on?
You know, they come assembled, which is
Okay.
actually it's actually kind of unfortunate because then I got to tear all of them apart, and then
Mm.
so it comes like this. That's a
Oh,
clear
wow.
one.
Okay.
And then and then it comes out like this at the other end. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Wow.
yeah,
AKA a lot of sweat equity into every figure.
Yeah, no
yeah.
kidding.
You've got to pry them apart, put it in there, close it up.
Yeah, and I'm also going to start. Oh my God, I have so many plans for this toy. It's when you talk to someone, especially like a new guy, they go, hey, this is my first toy. It's gonna be first in like a line of 20, and you're like, oh, whoa. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But that's why, like that one that you were just showing, it just has like the one pauldron and the belt, and that's how that full armor started
Yeah.
was one piece at a time, and um, yes, and that one's painted with some cool translucent paint.
See, and
Yeah, I
admittedly,
love
man,
that.
Glows in the dark.
That
your
fade
stuff is
there.
so
Uh,
beautifully painted. I would have thought that you had just a big batch of mixed pieces. You know what I mean? Like because with the reds, the blues, but if they're all clear, you're adding in even more extra time and work into all of those, man. Like those are beautiful
yeah.
little accents.
I'll say this. I saw someone said it, and I looked it up, but I saw Paul Kaiju dyeing vinyl.
Rit dye, man. That Rit dye
Yeah,
more, that shit is a freaking gem. No paint streaks. No,
yeah.
is that what you're doing right now?
That thing that Brian just had, that is painted, but this red one, this is dyed.
Dude, I'm so happy to hear it. That is one of
Yeah,
my favorite things to use because there's no brush strokes. And it just
yeah,
changes the color perfectly. That's beautiful, man. And you're
yeah,
getting great
yeah,
results on those vinyls with that. Oh, that's
yeah.
sexy.
Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, here's a death lore too. The
Mm.
purple is dye. Um, uh,
Is
The
that armor felt?
no, it's like pleather. It's like
Okay.
faux leather.
but the
It's
color's
got like a little.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm.
it's got like the pebbly texture
Yeah.
to it. Um, yeah, it's been a lot of work, and I love changing it like that because, and so I want to do more armor. I want to do the big thing that I really want to do is another sculpted card back to house the uh the vinyl toy because
Mm.
it's all. I also sculpted it specifically so that it would fit into a Motu blister, and I'm gonna
Mm.
do a sculpted card back with a removable blister. So you could put your Motu, or if you have a custom or whatever, you want to rip my toy out and put this
Yeah.
in. It's gonna be sort of like a Motu display case, you know.
Nice.
I'm gonna do that, and you know, I'm excited for it.
If you don't mind, I've got it actually up here. I'd love to share some of the casted backers you've done in the past too, for anybody who hasn't maybe seen them, unless you've got one on
Sure.
hand with you.
You know, it's probably a dog shit paint job on it. You know, I don't have one. Believe it or
Okay.
not, I actually cleaned 2 weeks ago, and this is what it looks like when it's clean. I think I put those away though.
Well,
Yeah, I don't see
this
it.
this
I
is
don't
kind
see
of
it
the
now.
example though of like
Yeah.
What?
insanity. Admittedly, I was already creeping them
Yeah.
earlier, so I figured if we're going to talk about it, we might as well kind of show off some of the ones that you already have in existence and
Mm.
done.
Mm.
Yeah, that would, you know, that's the first one. Yeah, that's the only one that I did. And uh the black light colors are a nightmare to work with. Oh my God. Those pigments are anyway. But now that I actually kind of learned how to do the sculpted card back now I'm gonna go do a really good one. You know, I always wanted to compliment you on your cases back there. They're amazing. Are those custom jobs? The show
No,
your
those are right off of Amazon, man. It's
no
one of those
shit.
products. Yeah, it's one of those. Thank you. It's one of those products where they're all pretty much the same, but there's like 20 different companies that sell them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all maybe, just a little bit off, but they're actually made for sports cards, is what I found them under.
Oh, okay.
But the only drawback I would think is that sometimes they're not deep enough for some of the other figures, but it's still, probably almost an inch and a half deep, so you can put a variety of stuff in there.
Yeah,
But yeah, dude, it looks clean, man. I mean, I like the black on black is really what I was going for.
it looks
So
awesome.
thanks.
It does. And see, and that's another thing too that I really struggled with. Sorry, my phone is about to die, but uh that I really struggled with. I'm like, how do I display this? Ever since I've moved out to California, we've moved like 8 times, and so it wasn't until just recently where I'm like, I think I can actually like pull my collection out and display it.
Yeah.
Um, and now I'm like, I don't have like a really cool way to display.
If
But
you don't,
I don't know.
so sorry, I don't mean to cut you
Uh,
off. I'm guilty of
no, go
that.
ahead. Yeah,
Um,
please.
because you mentioned earlier that the pieces you do have, you've been said, like they're very, very special to you. And I am a little curious, like for you, like what makes those toys so special? Like what kind of like really hits a piece over that little like bridge of like you cherish it.
Yeah, um, I had to set parameters on my collection too. That's why, when I put a spending freeze, because I'd be like, oh my God, I wanted this so bad when I was a kid, or this, oh, that looks dope. But I've defined my collection as I have to have had it when I was a kid. Um, or if it's new, I have to know the artist that did the toy, or if they sculpted it or painted it, or if I have to know the person, uh, or I have to have had it when I was a kid.
It's funny, man. I hear more and more people say that where they're kind of like, I'm bringing my collection down to artists that I know I like have met or they're friends of mine, and I want more of their work in my home. Who are
Mm.
some of your like favorite artists to have in your home beside you?
Oh my God, I love Maggitarius. Um, those two, Mike and Tracy, are the sweetest people. I met them at Designer Con years ago. We immediately hit it off, and I mean, it was before that they even did their first vinyl, and I remember he was like, how do you get a vinyl done? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Everyone wants to do it. I'm like, I don't know how to do it. And so he probably put out a dozen vinyls before I was like, I think I'm ready to do it, So I think I've got, oh no, I brought it in. I have some Barely Human. I love John. I have, this is on the spray table right here, this blank. Sometimes I just have like blank stuff sitting around because I'll see how I want it to look, There was a show, Heroes, long time ago, and this guy had a superpower where when he would do heroin, he could look at a blank canvas and he could foretell the future, and he could see this like painting appear on the canvas. And sometimes that'll happen with this, where it'll be blank or something will be blank, and I'll be like, that's what I'm gonna do with it. I made an R2D2 with the skeleton in it long time ago. It was like my first successful toy, and I was at a toy show. It was a toy video game heavy metal show.
Very common.
And I was like, look, I like all those things.
Yeah.
count me in, And I went there and I was like, this should be way cooler for some reason. But anyway, I there was this ratty ass little R2D2, and dude, as soon as I picked it up, I saw a skeleton in it, and I was like, I'm buying this, So those things will happen. But what else do I have? I sit and talk and talk and talk.
Dude, how about this
too.
right here? How about this? Speaking of skeletons,
okay.
we did that. We had that grill show a few weeks back, and I pulled out this one. This one, dude. Not only was I looking for one of these legit forever. This one came up for sale, and it happened to be the clear with the blood drip on them. It's just an insanely cool piece, dude.
I think I called that Blood and Steel.
Blood and Steel. Yeah, I mean look at the spine on that thing. That's freaking wild.
Yeah.
A lot of your stuff, man. So not only this, but like the giant He-Man, those ones are so sick with the paint on them. Growing up, was Motu kind of like the go-to franchise for you?
Oh my God, dude, you have no idea. I was 5 when it came out, and I think the first day of kindergarten was the first day of He-Man or something. And I remember having to run home, because if I didn't run, I was gonna miss the first couple minutes of it, and I would run home every day to see He-Man. And I was already into comic books and stuff, and I started reading Conan books. I got a Savage Sword of Conan when I was a kid. My parents bought it for me. It was like at a Barnes and Noble. It wasn't like a comic book shop. And I think they thought like, oh, it's just a comic book. And I remember I brought it home, and there's like scantily clad women, and fucking Conan is like banging all of these hot chicks, and dude, there's a scene where he's cutting a guy's head off. His head is I remember I think I was like 8, and I was like, if mom and dad knew that this was what was in here, they would have a problem. But the crossover there was Earl Norem. He used to do the painted covers on the Conan books, and he used to do a lot of the He-Man artwork. So there was a lot of crossover. I've always loved fantasy. more than anything. It was kind of hard in the 80s too, because making a good fantasy movie was really hard. You know, it was like Krull,
Mm.
which, you know, look, I love it, but yeah, Dark Crystal,
I was just
you
gonna say
know,
Dark Crystal's got to be in there, right? Yeah,
Labyrinth, and you
Labyrinth.
know, as I got
Yes.
older, you know, Conan the Barbarian is one of my favorite movies. Every time I watch it, I have the same thought: is this movie has no business being this fucking good. That's a great fucking movie. I'm always like, Conan the Barbarian should be about on the same level as like Conan the Destroyer. Like
Mm.
that's not a great movie, but Conan the Barbarian is an amazing movie. Anyway, fantasy, fantasy, fantasy. Ever since I'm a kid, um, my first comic book was a Warlord issue of Warlord. You know, I mean,
I really don't want to be rude and don't like. Did you live through the comic code when all of a sudden like everybody got like repressed because of like even that stuff, or was it would this been of like almost right after the comic code where they did all the restrictions?
no, I mean, most of my comic book when I was a kid, comic books were ubiquitous, man. You would go to the comic book, they would be at 7-Eleven. They'd be at the gas station. I remember renting videos and they had a comic book rack, a giant comic book rack, and it was just everywhere. And you know, um, but you weren't going to get any stuff that wasn't like comic book code. You know, it wasn't until I actually found the comic book shop and went
Mm.
in, because I mean, you know, Ninja Turtles popped off. That was not that was not approved by the comics code, even though it became, you know,
And
yeah,
fentanyl and then blew
yeah,
up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, so um again, I mean, like, no, by the time that I got on my bicycle and went to the comic book shop, it was a little bit more subversive stuff. I still love Spider-Man, you know, and all those books, but in the 90s, I bought into all of the holographic covers
Mm.
and all that stuff, you know, that basically led to the crumbling of the comic book, bursting of the comic book bubble. But you know, my comic book guy, who was very much like the Simpsons comic book guy, he goes, I was buying this web of Spider-Man with a hologram on it.
Hmm.
He goes, "You like that comic book?" I go, "It's gonna be worth money, man. You know, I'm gonna buy this." And he goes, "Yeah, well, why don't you go home and read that book?" And he goes, "And come back and tell me if you like that." Okay. And I went home, I read it. I go, "This is the shittiest comic book I've ever read." And and they did that on purpose. That they had this crap book, but they could sell it. You know, it was like a very shiny turd. You know, where they put the holographic thing on. So anyway, I went back to him the next week or whatever, and I said, "Yeah, that book sucks." I said, "Show me the way, man." And he showed me a bunch of like subversive stuff. Uh, anyway, I love comic books.
Dude, I know exactly those comic books that you're talking about, man, because me and Hurt Toys used to walk down to the comic book store that was attached to the old bowling alley, now that I think about it, which isn't even freaking there anymore. But we did
Sounds
the same.
awesome.
Yeah, we did the same thing, man. And now since then I've given them to my son and he has them up in his room, dude. And I thought the exact same thing, right? I saw those covers and I was like, oh man, that's gonna be worth a lot. And then you got the gold one and then the green one with the hologram on it, and I'm just like, oh man, this is straight money. And I mean, they're not, you know.
No, 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 none of that is. The stuff that you think is going to be worth money is always the stuff that is not. it's all these like, you know, dog shit knockoff toys that everyone's like, oh my god, yeah, you know, underworld warriors. You know, you know, when you were a kid, you're like, dude, I'm not buying. You know, even then, you knew that it was a little sus. You knew that it was cheap, even when you were a kid. But you know, now that's the stuff everyone loves. So, you know.
Before I forget, Goblin Mob in the chat here is actually asking if you'll bring back those Beastman bulbs that you had done a while back. They want to know about those.
Oh man, you know, that stuff is so hard to work with. I saw you guys talk to Simeon Cheese, and I have some of his. You know, I love that guy. Those beast balls, you know, it's tough. That stuff is tough to work with, man. And you know, like resin, you know, you're like, I can't have any bubbles, no bubbles. You know, but with that stuff, it's counterintuitive because you're like, you have to whip it up, you have to whip all the bubbles into it so it'll foam out. But then if you get a bubble on the surface, you know, it was always in the ear. And I'm like, this thing is shit. And throw it away. And you know, I made a lot of those beast balls. I would like to maybe do a different sculpt. I would like to do, I would do something like that again, but bringing that back, it's hard bringing back something that I already did, because I mean, like those Ram Mans, I just made those Ram Mans again, but I sculpted that thing like 5 or 6 years ago, and I'm remaking it again, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, if I could do this again, I would do it this way, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So it's hard to go back and make some of the old favorites, or you know, when people are like, I gotta have this, because I've grown since then, and you know, it's hard. But I also like to keep, you know, the people that it gets to a point where it's like, please, 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 those Ram Man, I could sell those all day, you know,
For
but
sure.
I mean, but it just gets to the point where it's like making them, you know, I feel like I'm in the fishing reel factory again, like holding back tears as I'm, yeah, okay, just one more. I like to move forward, you know, but you know, but like I said, I also like to keep everyone happy. So beast balls, I don't see it in the foreseeable future, but maybe. There's always a maybe. You know, it's another. You know, there's another one that I could make all day, and everyone loves, is the hamburger from Better Off Dead. I get messages about that all the time, all the time. You know, I was actually thinking about reaching out to the director and just saying like, maybe we make these together. You know, that's one of my favorite movies. I love that guy. That one, I feel there's always pressure to make that one again with like the Van Halen guitar.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie, but yeah, there it is, right there. Look pretty stupid to me, kid. I love that. It's a movie about a high school kid trying to kill himself, and it's a comedy.
Is that John Cusack?
Yeah, it was like his first movie, and his girlfriend breaks up with him, and he tries to kill himself.
Sounds hilarious.
It's lots of funny different ways.
I haven't thought about that movie in ages, man. Like drunk and high late night ages ago.
That is a fantastic movie. It's so funny. It's hilarious. And everyone loves that movie, and everyone is so drawn to that hamburger. There's a little part in the middle where there's a little clay animated hamburger, and he plays guitar to Van Halen. Everybody wants some, and I don't know. I feel like once a year I have to pull those molds out or those pieces out and remake them and make that toy again. Everyone loves it.
I've been dying to know for a while, and it's since originally God Mob asked about the Beastman balls, the Chaos orbs that you did way back in the day.
That's
Do
it.
you
Yeah,
have
okay.
do you have Ram Mans that are potentially double casted with some of the less than perfect Chaos orbs? Because I've seen some old Ram Mans you have that look black and white, crazy swirls in there, and I'm like, the fuck's happening in that?
Oh yeah. That was like the Dark Dimension version of that Ram Man. See, what happened there was, that was still when I was like, I made that Ram Man and I was like, can I sell a toy for $100? It was like a huge thing where I was like, I'm like, it's so much money and it's such a big ask. And I started shit my pants a little bit because I didn't know if I could. So that Dark Dimension one with the teeth and the eyes, like that Cthulhu sort of thing swirling, it was me making something besides a skeleton to go in there because I didn't know if how much juice was in the one toy. So I made two toys that go into the one, basically.
Was that
Does that make
trying to
sense?
like was that trying to like justify the $100 price tag? So you were just
No,
adding.
I was trying to justify because it was such a big mold and I didn't know how well it would sell.
Yeah.
And so I was like, if I can fill this mold up with something else, that'll be like a different toy.
Gotcha.
And I like that one too, but there's a lot of, I mean, sometimes they take an entire day, and then if you get a misfire on that, and it's like a day, the entire day is wasted, and the paint job that you put on the thing, and it's so depressing.
That makes
too
sense.
depressing.
And one of the things that I think collectors like myself don't think about often, but like if that doesn't work either, that's also one less pull from the mold. If you can normally get X amount of pulls from a mold, it's also kind of like, well, it's wasted material, wasted time, and I've just lost one of my pulls from my mold.
Yeah, I don't really count pulls off the mold, but uh, because I take really good care of my molds and I'm very serious about them and I take good care of them. But yeah, and it's hard. But now that you mention it, it is hard, especially when you're doing clear. Once the surface starts to degrade on it, the clear starts getting not so clear, and and it becomes harder to work with. So, yeah.
If I may, how many pulls would you say you typically do get from like not even the most difficult molds? Like obviously you're gonna have some that are more finicky, but if you had just like a nice mold that you love using, how many pulls would you say you can get from that before retiring it?
Before retiring, I don't know. It depends on what it is. Like that Ram Man, you're gonna get like 40 beautiful pulls if you take care of it real well. After that it'll start to degrade. But I did a toy, the Shining, like that witch lady from The Shining, that comes out and that mold started to degrade, but it made the toy look cooler. It added all these like wrinkles and all this like stuff onto the skin.
Yeah.
So, I made like 80 of those.
That's wild, man. I don't know if we've had anybody on that has produced 40 or 80. Really? That's some good care
uh,
molds.
Yeah, 40.
Yeah, it's about 40. That's right about the magic number. maybe Dove said that to me when I first started casting, and it just stuck in my head where I'm like, 40 is the magic number. But I think it's pretty true. It's about 40.
I'm so curious about like what weird tiki chart metric you're looking at right now, being like, yeah.
My phone is about to die, and
I'm so
I'm trying
sorry.
trying to get all this. Whatever. It's
Sorry, man.
sorry, I'm distracted, but I'm like trying to. I got like a battery pack and this and that. I'm highly prepared for this interview.
We're professionals.
With all the stuff that you got going on, Scott, the vinyl, the resin, is it a kind of a rotation of those that you want to keep on doing? Would you rather maybe go into strictly vinyl? Or is resin something that you always want to kind of keep in there and keep making figures too? I mean, dude, just the selection of resin figures, if people don't know, there's carded pieces, there's the nugget piece, there's these big, the bulky pieces like this. It's a really wide variety of resin pieces. Is that something you just want to stick with overall?
With vinyl, when the first shipment of vinyl got here, I was like, I'm never going to do resin ever again. I'm only vinyl. And then the first thing I do is sculpt something and cast it in resin and put it inside of the vinyl chest. You know what I mean? So I'm like, no more resin. So one last piece, one last hit. I can't. It's going to be way too hard to move off of resin because look, if it's done, if it's sculpted, we can make a mold and we could have it by tomorrow. We could have it done and ready to go tomorrow, and you don't get that sort of immediacy. I am, I don't want to say I'm impatient, but the immediacy of resin,
when the vinyl came in and you said I'm never doing resin again, what made you think that? What was it about the vinyl where you're like, dude, this is just too easy?
Because it's easy. They send you a fucking toy. They send you make it and they send you a fucking toy.
Yeah,
you go, look at that. I didn't even have to do really anything. Someone else did this. This is great.
Yeah, pay me the money. Right?
Well, it's not only that, but like the Ram Man. The resin. It's not like you pull this perfect toy out of the mold. It's almost like a stone sculptor picking out a stone and finding the sculpture in it, like pulling the resin out of the mold. I still have to make tweaks to it. I'm very meticulous with everything that I do. So it is nice to be like, here's the vinyl toy, here's your fucking toy. It's already ready to go. You paint it, you get to that thing. I want to, you know what, man? I like doing everything,
Yeah.
I resin, vinyl. I don't know how much like resin toys I'm going to be doing. I just like the whole thing, man. I just like the whole thing.
Yeah.
I talked to Eddie Resin Blood a lot, and he's the same way. He does paintings and sculpture and bootlegs and original stuff, and and what he tattoos, I don't tattoo, but we both do lots of different things that all sort of come together in some meaningful way, hopefully meaningful way. So resin, and then these soft goods that I've been working with, like the armor and soft goods and accessories with pewter.
Yeah.
Look, before this vinyl toy, I never shot paint out of an airbrush. I you know, I didn't really work with soft goods,
Yeah.
you know, except for maybe a couple vinyl capes on a bootleg Darth Vader or something like that, you know.
Mm.
Um, so, you know, and I never worked with pewter, you know, so
Yeah.
in a lot of ways, you know, it is sort of all of those things coming together, and yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could ever give up resin. I don't think I could ever really give up any of this stuff.
Yeah.
It does. I don't give up on it. It just becomes another tool in my arsenal. Look, I got this wood burner over here. I got really into that for a long time, where I would
Mm.
do these intricate wood burning panels, and then I was like, all right, on to the next thing, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been painting black velvet for years, and that, you know, I've even done toys with black velvet painting integrated into it. So all of this stuff, it gets layered on top of each other, and you know, the more complex it gets. This last thing that I was just showing you, I mean, it's like the most complex thing that I've ever done.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, man, I think that's what makes, guys like you and Eddie and anybody else who's really doing multiple things. Um, it's really a different level, and I know that there's a lot of people in the community that are just kind of making molds of things and then doing different resin pours and doing that. And I think that's a great entrance into it. And usually you see people then move into articulated figures and whatnot. And but then you look at somebody, like you said, like yourself or Eddie, who's doing these things, and you guys are career artists who are so good at so many different things, man. That's, you mentioned Eddie, and dude, like the tattoo work is crazy, and he's big in the tattoo scene, man. And then you see these giant canvases that he's making. That last one that I saw, that thing was like freaking 8 feet long, dude. And it's sick,
Yeah,
man. You know what I mean? And then
yeah.
um it's phenomenal, dude. It's really cool to see that many different things going on, and they're all being so good, dude. Like, I mean, it's crazy to think that the guy who's making this vinyl toy is also making this. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
is also like painting that tiny little gray skull, which is just freaking immaculate. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
Crazy, crazy good work, dude. Dude, what's up with
Thank you.
these trading cards? Were you into trading cards as a kid?
You know, I loved Garbage Pail Kids. When Garbage Pail Kids came out, I remember Adam, my brother, had brought one home. It was Nasty Nick. It was the Dracula one where he's biting the Barbie doll's neck. And I remember crawling under my bed and just staring at it. I just thought it was so fucking cool. And you know, it kind of blew my mind. And I lost my shit on Garbage Pail Kids, so much that you know, I don't know anything about sports. But I was like, if I love Garbage Pail Kids this much, I'm sure I will love baseball cards this much. And I bought baseball cards, and I was like, I don't even know who these guys are, and they're not funny, and they don't have boogers in their nose. So I got to tap out. Um, and then I collected like Magic cards. I played Magic the Gathering when it first came out. I had a huge heart on for all that shit. Um, and the first set of Marvel cards, the first and second set of Marvel cards, when those came out, those were huge because you know, what I really loved about those is I was reading comic books and I loved them, but those cards gave you a bigger insight to the entire Marvel universe. And it was a good way to have this connective tissue to, you know, like, did you know that Mr. Fantastic and Spider-Man fought Galactus and you know, and
Yes.
you're like, and I'm like, wow. So like that had broadened my horizons. Like those cards actually made me love the comic books even more. And like even the second set had like these power levels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which I kind of ape those as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love trading cards. I do.
Yeah.
They again in the 90s, it got a little out of hand where it was just like everything had trading card, you know, Demolition Man trading cards, like
Yeah.
you know, Howard the Duck trading cards.
Oh, dude, I found there's a couple websites out there where guys sell just stacks of those, like really off the wall, and you can select whatever you want. But you're right, man. It's like trading cards for freaking everything.
I have an entire set. I bought my wife an entire set of Cyndi Lauper trading cards. And they're awesome, man.
That is cool, man.
Yeah, I have a lot of trading cards. I like trading cards.
The Yo MTV Raps cards, man. I was always into those for a little while. But what you said about the Marvel comic cards, dude, those were that's a great point, dude, because you remember in that series, in series 1, they had those arch nemesis cards. I remember looking at some of those things and being like, man, I didn't know that was his arch nemesis. And then you flip it over and you're reading a little story. So, dude, great point. I've never really thought about that, man. How
little facts and first appearances and stuff like that. Yeah.
And those things, dude, you know, just as collector wise, I know up until recently, like a set of those that was in really good condition, man, that was bringing, you know, not a ton of money, but a few $100. I thought that was really good.
I think that's what I like about those too, is they're kind of affordable, because especially the second series that blew up. That they probably printed 8 million of them, you know.
For sure. And they have that kind of, it's more of a glossy kind of like more, I don't want to say futuristic, but more of it's a totally different look, right? Like series 1 had that little banner going across and it looked just more of like a classic style card.
Yeah, they sort of didn't know what to do with it. Like the first series, they sort of didn't know what to do with it, where it was like, this is their rookie card. And it's like, what? Okay, sure. You know, and some of them are kind of weird. They dialed it in a lot more on the second one, on the second series. But,
nice.
I like when the trading cards.
Yeah, no, please go ahead.
It's fun when they need to make a game out of it unnecessarily. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing like MTG, like I understand it, there's mechanics here. But when all of a sudden you're like, if the Cyndi Lauper cards, let's just hypothetically speaking, if wave 2 of the Cyndi Laupers all of a sudden gave her strength like 9 and attack like 10 or something, you'd be kind of like, why does Cyndi Lauper need to have power and health? And what's going on here?
Because she's fighting Lou Albano.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say because she's got Debbie Gibson staring her down over there in the corner.
She did all those videos with those wrestlers, you remember?
That's right, dude.
Right in the Goonies, right. in the Goonies video, Roddy Piper, Roddy Piper, he goes, ooh, cookies.
That's his card.
Yeah, that's dude. I'm making that card. It's Roddy Piper. He's like this. Ooh, cookies.
I dig it, man.
She had wrestlers in all of her videos.
That's funny. I remember when I found out, when I first heard that, I don't know why I never made the connection, man, that Cyndi Lauper was the one who did that Goonies song. I thought that was the coolest fact for probably like 2 years, man. I thought that was the coolest thing going.
She also uncredited, she did the theme song for Pee-wee's Playhouse.
No kidding.
Yeah. Because when I was a kid, I remember making that connection, and Adam and I, we used to tape Pee-wee every week, and I remember it was before. Dude, we had the remote control. It was tethered to the VHS. You know, it didn't. We didn't have the wireless. But you sit there and press pause and pause and pause, and say Cyndi Lauper's name, so I sort of forgot about it, and I was like, "It's someone just sounds like Cyndi Lauper," but she was uncredited. Anyway, there's your factoid for the day.
There you go. Stormico Station, good call, man. Captain Lou was her dad and girls just want to have fun videos, isn't he? Yes, absolutely he is, man. That's what I was thinking of initially. Yeah.
He's also in every single one of her videos.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did
And
you
she was
learn
at
all this
like
from the cards?
WrestleMania and what's that?
Did you learn all these from the backs of those cards?
No, I learned it from watching every single Cyndi Lauper video, man.
But
and
what
then
a
she
freaking
returned the favor by she was on the Super Mario Super Show when Lou Albano was, and of course all of the wrestlers were on there.
Yeah, dude. I was talking to somebody about that the other day, and God, dude, how did it come up, man? We were talking about Super Mario, and then I was talking about the live action show. I'm like, man, remember Captain Lou Albano was on there? And yeah, dude, I don't know how long that ran for, but it wasn't very long. That
A
was a
few
quick one.
years. There's a great compilation on YouTube, and they cut the cartoon out. They cut everything out except for those interstitials of Mario and Luigi and whatever guest.
Yeah.
Nicole Eggert from Charles in Charge, and like Elvira was on one, and
Elvira.
there's a couple times where you're like, wow, that's a really big celebrity to be hanging out on the Super Mario Super Show.
Yeah, no kidding, man. No kidding.
But well, we're in the weeds.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Happen.
So
Sorry, we were talking
forward,
about
man,
toys.
you got the the vinyl, the black one that you showed. That's kind of the latest and greatest so far. I know you got Tag Fest coming up this weekend. You're gonna have an exclusive there. So where do we go from here, man? More of the more of the, I don't know, what do you call that? With the armor that's on there, but more variations of that.
Well, the next one that I want to do is I would like to release a vinyl toy of Kilgar, who's the main character in my book. And that's sort of why I've been learning how to do all this armor and everything, is because I want to make a really cool figure of him and release that with the next book. So that's why I'm sort of dragging my feet on releasing that, because it's been done for like a year. If you open the cards, there's pictures. There's the cover for issue 3 in the trading cards.
Nice little Easter egg for people.
I mean, it's been done for a long time. But I want to release it with the toy. So, that's why I'm kind of dragging my feet on that. So I'm gonna do that. What was the question? I swear I told myself I wasn't gonna do this. I told myself I wasn't gonna go on there and go, dude, just go on and answer in a succinct manner.
Dude, I do it every week, multiple times. We'll be chatting, and then it's just like, what were we talking about? What were we doing now?
We were talking about toys.
Yeah, it was definitely toys. So Tag Fest this weekend.
Yes.
And what do you got there? Vinyl and resin? Just vinyl?
I'm just gonna bring some vinyl and some of the comic books and stuff like that, and the cards, the usual, like the comic book setup, and some vinyl. Like I said, I'm splitting with Epoch, and it's only like a 6-foot table, so it's we only get like 3 feet. So it's like Steve Martin in The Jerk. It's like from here to here. This is Scott's comic book section, and then this is the resin, and then from here to here, this is the vinyl. But Tag Fest this weekend, Designer Con, and then I'm really hoping to make it back out to ZoloCon. And then actually before ZoloCon, I might be doing Pasadena Comic Con. I don't know. During COVID, it was right before COVID, actually, I was doing a lot of shows, and I was like, I gotta slow down on these shows, catch my breath, and that I was doing the comic book But then during COVID, I was like, dude, as soon as COVID is over, I'm doing every single show. And then like after 2 years, I'm like, COVID's never gonna be, it's not over. It's never over. I'm like, just go do the shows, man. And so now I'm doing like every show that I can, for better or for worse. There's been some good and some not so good shows.
I'm sure you've met a lot of folks. Like, you know what I mean? That's got to be a really nice part about it, man.
It's amazing. You know, I did PowerCon and I had lunch with George Gaspar, who, you know, I mean, do you guys know who George is?
Yeah,
Double G.
Star Wars figure, freaking designer, or no, Double G. There we go. Sorry, I'm thinking of Green Plastic Tunnel's father for a moment there for some reason, but no, you're talking about Double G Toys, the OMFG series, man. And if anything, that series I think is underrated. Sorry, not to get all.
I totally agree with you, man. You know, George, a couple years ago, he on his Instagram, he's like, I'm gonna post a minifigure that I sculpted every day of the week for the entire year. And I was like, wait, you've sculpted over 365 minifigures over your career? I mean, the guy is a titan, you know. And
so
when
kind.
He's the best. I love that guy. And you know, any opportunity that I get to talk to him, or you know, but you know, we did he snuck me into the VIP area at PowerCon, and like Tim Clark came and had lunch with us, and I was like, this is this moment right here, man. You know, it was sort of like breathe it in, man. It was amazing. He sat there and talked about being like one of the mystics in the Dark Crystal, and you know, I mean, like the guy made Boglins.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, the Boglin guy.
Yeah, Tim Clark. Yeah, he did Boglins, Sectars, and I think he did Eagle Force as well. And you know, he was a Muppeteer. He worked directly with Jim Henson. He was one of the mystics, those big things in Dark Crystal. Anyway,
dude, I met him at he had the booth at Designer Con, and I remember seeing Boglins, and dude, there was nobody, there was no line. He was just hanging out. And I remember hitting up Hurt Toys because he's a big Boglin fan. And I said, man, I can't believe nobody is even approaching this dude. But what a nice guy, man. I think that was 2 years ago now.
It's probably because he sold out. You know what I mean? Like those drops, those Boglin drops, it's like here and gone.
You know something really?
So I think when you see him at Designer Con, he's just chilling out. It's probably because he doesn't have anything left to sell.
Here's something super bizarre, dude. Check this out. Are you familiar with that website Deep Discount?
No.
I think it's just overstock of product, right? At a discounted piece. I must have bought something from them, or they got a hold of my email at some point sometime. I can't even remember what I've bought from them, but Boglins ended up on there some way, somehow. Hurt Toys, I shit you not, dude. They had mispriced these things originally when they did. He bought the entire set of them, $15 a piece, dude.
No, for the big ones?
Yes, well, I mean, $15 a piece. So check this out, dude. So the only one I think that didn't come was the one that's painted like a skeleton, right? So he gets this big ass box delivered to him, and the tape it said, don't open if this tape is broken. Well, the fucking tape was broken and it wasn't in there. He hits up Deep Discount. They give him the whole story of like, hey, we fucked up. You weren't supposed to get those. He's like, I don't give a shit. Like, and they send it to him. And now if you go on there, I think you can still buy them, but not at that price. And I don't think they're in stock. But I mean, what a freaking score, dude.
Dude, that's the first time I saw him, it was because that skeleton one, I think it glows in the dark. And I was like, oh, oh
Yeah.
this one sold out. It's sold. It's sold.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was another. You know, me in the '80s, there was that gross toy boom, and I was a mark for anything gross. Garbage Pail Kids, Boglins.
What about the Oozits?
You know, Uzi, I
Hmm.
must have been aware of that somehow, but I have no nostalgia for it.
Okay.
I love it. It looks really cool, and I think it's awesome. But I have very, you know, there's
Trash Bag
stuff that
Bunch?
again, I think that came out maybe right as I was, you know, there is that period where you know every guy is like, well, I can't be playing with these toys. I did have that, but I still did play with the toys. Uh,
Dude, my first band practice ever, literally, I tucked all my nerd shit into my closet, and one of the dudes brought his younger brother, and his younger brother opened my closet and went, "Oh, magic cards!" And right away, you're like sitting there, it's like, "Oh my god!" And luckily, he was like, "Dope, my uncle plays this," and you're like, "Well, glad that your weird ass uncle is cool, I guess." But we all go through that period where we tuck that stuff away for sure. When would you
yeah,
say
but
you got back in?
what's that?
No, please go ahead.
I was gonna say I got out of that where I was like, I don't know these toys, but then it just became fodder for like an art project where you know that's when I started customizing and sawing apart all of my toys and seeing what I could do with them. And I trashed my entire collection, but it was like I'm too old to be playing with these toys. I, but then I was like making puppets and stuff like that, you know, or like, you know,
It's. Would you say that you basically have always had to put a creative outlet somewhere, like almost like a hyperfixation?
not a hyperfixation. You know, it it's just always been there. It's just always been there. You know, when we were in grade school or junior high, they were like, "Do you want to go into performing arts or individual arts?" And there was a couple other things. I know that I wasn't history. You know, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah,
And I
lame.
remember Adam was like, I want to go into visual arts. And I was like, I'm going to go into performing arts. And so I would like do the plays and stuff. And Adam was into the vision. So uh, there's always a creative outlet to do something. And so, like, when I was doing the performing and stuff, I was still drawing and creating and stuff. You know, that's when I was like making puppets, you know, and oh my God. And then that turned into a whole thing later when Adam and I put together a filthy puppet show and we performed at comedy shows.
I like this. Yeah, that's my thing. Where can we find more of that?
Yeah,
You know
right.
what? I don't know. I don't know because I lost you guys. It was called Puppet Jerks. And it was like an insult comedy puppet show where we would tell everyone in the audience to go fuck themselves and whatever with these puppets. And you know, it was like the early 2000s. And you know, people had camcorders and stuff, digital thing, but no, I think we have like a picture of it, well, or like a couple pictures of it. But I know someone, this is fucking weird. Okay, this is weird. Someone that I don't know, that we didn't know, had recorded every single performance that we did of Puppet Jerks. And he went to school. This is when I was living in Wisconsin. And he went to school somewhere else out of state. But he had this tape of us with these creepy puppets, these creepy, gross puppets, insulting everyone in the audience. We had ones that squirted blood, you know, like Guar. We were like huge Guar fans. We had this disgusting Abraham Lincoln puppet that squirt blood onto the audience. And this guy was recording him, and he was bringing him back to his college, wherever it was, and was showing this video. And we had a huge following at this college, totally unbeknownst to me or Adam. So when I first met my now wife, we were dating, and she goes, "Oh, I'm dating this guy, Scott Cherry." And she was like, "Oh, puppet jerks." Like, puppet jerks? What the fuck is this? And that girl, I met her and she told me that story. And I was like, where can I get I'm like, can I get I want the tape. I guess this guy was wanted by the FBI or something. And the tape had existed on his hard drive, and he was arrested, and they confiscated the hard drive. So now I think I have a couple of show flyers and like maybe a couple pictures. Other than that, it's all legend.
Wow.
That might be my favorite part of the interview.
Dude, what a I was just gonna say, what a story, dude. Holy smokes. Wow.
It was weird meeting that girl. She was visibly nervous, like she was meeting like Mick Jagger or something. Yeah, like it was weird. But that was already like years after we stopped doing it, because we were like, this is stupid, man. People fucking hate us, because we would open up for other comedians. We would work with other comedians. Comedians hate stand-ups. They hate working with a puppet show, dude. Every single time they go, "Who's the opener?" Puppet show. They go, "Oh my." They hated it.
Any reason why that you can think of?
Well, they want to take their comedy professional serious. It's their profession, and then there's these guys going up and they're squirting blood on the audience, and we had to set up this big stage, and that took like 20 minutes, and it threw a monkey wrench into the, it's like the first two comedians go up, and then we have to erect this stage, and everyone hated us except for, I don't know, the three people that liked us.
It kind of works with the act, though, especially if you're being dicks to everybody in the audience. It's like, whatever, everybody here hates us anyways.
You know what, though? You know what I learned with doing that is you can always blame it on the puppet. Well, I didn't say the puppet.
That's what Beat does. You guys don't know, but secretly, it's actually, we're in one room. His hand is actually, that arm right over there is actually up and under, and that's how he gets away with most of the BS.
Yeah. You see, Mr. Imus says it in a funny voice. It's the character that says the bad thing, not him.
That's it, man. That's it. Well,
Barbarian Rage, man, I think we have probed you quite a lot here for about an hour and a half.
Don't you dare. Don't dare.
Is there anything that you want to wrap up before we kind of get you that? Oh, race now? I was scared. I had to. It seemed like he was going to get there, and there's very few times they rocked that. I was like, it's a race now. Now I've got to. But I also feel really terrible if he actually did have something that he wanted to like finalize out there as well. So please feel free to be like, that fucking Crumb guy's an asshole. I could tell. I'm getting weird facial twitches, man. I was trying to be like, I'm listening, but I could tell my eyebrows were like, sleep, dude, and I'm freaking out. You got some toys to show us?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
But also,
you, man,
that was a fucking banger, dude.
Peach.
Dude, okay. Also, because I didn't want to like nerd out too hard while he was sitting there. I'm trying to be like, I don't want to creep this person out and be like, But think of just like what amount of mixed media. And when he was even kind of like, this is more tools for my arsenal. It's like your arsenal is insane, dude. Like I was so happy about the writ dyeing on the vinyl, the airbrushing, and like even mention. Think about that for a second. Just getting that new medium in his hands, something he's working with that the metal on the sword and the fabrics and the die cutter and the oh.
Yeah, dude, and I think what was really cool there was, you know, he's kind of got that base figure, and now it's just a matter of modifying that base figure, kind of like you said with Motu. I mean, if you look at Motu and you start going through all the figures, the 5.5s, you can see how many times that, you know, that head is replicated and the feet are replicated and the chest and the legs. It's like, you know, so all of a sudden you have some really nice base pieces and you're just kind of mixing those up and you're coming up with great figures every time. Dude, the soft goods on there are somehow got booted. Dude, Scott, that was awesome, man. The other thing that we didn't talk about was the podcast that he's involved in, dude. So bootleg overdose on Friday nights at midnight Eastern. And then he is also part of the DKE show that goes on. So lots of stuff there, man. God, we didn't even touch on the podcast, dude. That's a whole nother, I don't know how long. We could have talked about that. It could have been for a while though. But yeah, dude, just, you know, and like I said, going back, it's, you know, he had brought up Eddie, and dude, you start looking at how many different things those guys do, but it's not just like they're kind of dabbling in every one. They're just like legit at every single one. Scott, thanks for your time, man. That was awesome.
Yes, thank you very, very, very much. I'm sorry for being such a rude a-hole, and I appreciate you coming in and answering so much for us and explaining so much to us. Oh, I feel like such a dick right now.
Well, you know, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. So what did you want to do? So we got opens. I got some packs to give away, some Barbarian Rage stuff. Now he said that dude, and good knowledge for me, I guess. I'm just not familiar enough with his body of work to know that this Barbarian Rage comic was kind of like the first thing. It sounds like it's probably going to be the last time the comics book goes around once this series is done, possibly. But I was thinking that Red King Comics was this was just an ongoing thing that just happened to be a new series in it. But what we do have, we have Barbarian Rage cards. We have the $5 bag of garbage that Resin Barbarian Rage has, and then we also have comics. We have issue 1 and 2 of the comics. Now we have enough for 2 of these packs. So you're getting 3 packs of cards, the $5 bag of garbage, and the Barbarian Rage comic. So we will do 2 giveaways of those at some point this evening.
Do you want to bang that first one out right now?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
I've been trying to collect everybody's names. You guys know the drill. If you don't see your name or hear your name on here, please let us know, and we'll make sure to get you on there. So, boom, Dylan Clement, Bucket Salsa, Grayskull Toys, Suki, ToyzAlive, Akashi Records, Resin Toys, Resin Blood, sorry, Strafe 7, Stormico Station, Zamako, Street Fight, SPDX, Death and Strawberries, Jazz Wizard, Sadat H, Bootleg Toy Co., Recycle Galaxy, Linz the Rat Boy, Slightly Adrift, Porpoise, Wreck Shop, Resin, Goblin Mob, Von Fake Name, Mr. Ordinary, Yuckamuck, DTO, Keep 75, Baba Drock. If I've missed anybody, please feel free to chime in. I know that there is a little bit of a delay, so if I miss you, I apologize. But this is going to be from one of those sick-ass Barbarian Rage packs that B just showed off.
That's it, man. And I believe there is some comic, the covers of these, there's some variants of these. So this is issue 1. Bam. Issue 1. The bag of garbage. There's 2 stickers, or excuse me, 1 sticker in there, and it's actually this sticker here, this Deception of a Generation. Bam. Very cool. Snake Mountain on there. And then 3 packs of cards. The cards are really cool because if you look at the back of these cards, it says, look out for rare sketch cards. You could get lucky and pull an original piece of art out of one of these packs of cards. If you remember a while back, he was doing that. There was a couple artists, I think, that were doing original pieces of artwork in these packs of cards. So look out for those.
Look out. All right. I do believe I've caught anybody who I had missed. I've got Folklore and Recollection Toys being the last two added on there. Baba Drock, I've got you on there as well. DT O'Keefe, you're one of the last ones. I saw you come into the room as well. Death and Strawberries, you are on there, good sir. We are spinning this wheel. Look at that thing go.
Boom.
Baba Drocky.
Baba Drock.
Get
Nice,
Baba
man.
Drock.
Baba Drock. Also in this bag of garbage, man, there's actually and then there's a smaller Barbarian Rage sticker. There is a little resin piece in there. Bam, little minifig, and then a Red King Comics pin is what you will receive. 3 packs of cards, and issue number 1 of Barbarian Rage. Damn, there you go.
I feel like you were showing off the showcase.
Yeah, that's a good little pack, man. Anyways, yeah, dude, good interview, man. Like you said, just a super talented guy. I'm stoked for him on that vinyl piece, man. But then it's like, man, that's a super sick vinyl piece. But then you like, dude, those Ram Mans, those double cast Ram Mans, those are sick. And I know he said that they were hard to make, but or kind of painstaking to make, but dude, they are beautiful every single time. Somebody had asked, and we'll have to circle back at some point with him. He had said that the molds, he was getting 40 pulls out of those molds. And somebody asked, what's your mold care? That's a good question, man. You know what I mean? How do you take care of those things to make sure you get that many out of them?
Even storing them. Like, I wouldn't think about it really, but
Yeah.
like silicone does lose moisture over time.
Yeah, for sure, right? And when they break down, and then usually, I mean, and I know you have them too, is when people send you a little piece, man. But even just those little pieces, you notice they really kind of lose their, I don't want to say they lose their texture, that's not the right term, but they change texture over time.
Change texture over time. But then also, it's kind of cool how he ended up with a great result with that the witch one that he was talking about, where he ended up getting 80 pulls almost from it because it just kept on getting better and better with the wrinkly skin.
Absolutely, dude. That's cool. That is really cool. Let's open up some stuff, man.
Let's open up some stuff.
Let's open up some stuff. First thing I got, man. Now, this is the first piece by this guy, just because when I saw it, I'm like, wow, that's something you don't see very often. And maybe I'm just stupid enough to not know that maybe there is a whole bunch of things that this particular artist made. I haven't seen it, so it was new to me. And this dude, I think every single person that has been on the show, I don't want to say every single person been on the show, that's not true. But a lot of people, we asked, hey, who kind of, not really inspired you, but take us back to the beginning of you making pieces and what did that look like? Who did you follow? Where were you buying? A lot of people say Craftsman, myself included, as far as like making pieces that you can do at home. I think Craftsman has been instrumental for a ton of people as far as just what is possible at home. So he released this pocket knot recently, and I snagged that. And it's a cool little piece, man. It's got a bunch of different little faces on there that you can put in. I have not opened this one yet, but it's cool. It's just a cool little piece. Cool graphics, cool little header card there. But it's like I said, it's something that you don't see very often. I know that they went through one wave of these, they sold out right away, and this, I believe, was the second wave. They're identical, but cool, man. Really cool piece from the Craftsman. Craftsman, if you're not familiar with the Craftsman, do yourself a favor and get on YouTube and check out Craftsman videos and just lull yourself to sleep, man. That dude is, I mean, it's hard because it's super interesting stuff, but that dude's voice is so mild that I don't know, man. It's a beautiful thing. Next, 2 pieces from yeahhhh, because the other one, these ones released. Do you remember when yeahhhh like didn't make stuff? And then
I remember you telling me one of the first times I ever met you on a Zoom, you told me, did you know yeahhhh makes stuff, and if it's got a colored background, he probably made it?
Yeah. Yeah, and the drops are usually spaced out pretty far. They've been recently, there's been a couple. This one I thought was really cool. Bomb Pop. Oh no.
What do you oh knowing?
Um, hold up, man. My screen is not there. It went away.
Oh no. I can
What the
still
heck?
see you on video and stuff.
Oh, that is weird.
We're watching you.
Um, dude, what the heck? It says now my join a meeting screen is up. That is weird, dude, that you can see me and I can't see you. I mean,
Super.
I can see you, but it's in the little oh, there we go. I'm really dumb sometimes. My fat
What just
finger,
happened?
my fat fingers hit something, dude, and it like minimized the screen, and then it looked like it kicked me out of the meeting, and I'm like, oh shit, it kicked me out. And then you're like, no, we can still see you. My bad. Bomb pot from Yuckamuck. Boom. Really cool graphics, 50s style, I would say. The figure, it's that same red, white, and blue, nice and drippy on there. Nice. Love that one, man. Really cool look on those. I don't know if these sold out or not, man. Yeah, I'd have to circle back on his page to see. But Bomb Pop from Yuckamuck, that's a good one. Another one from Yuckamuck that just came out, man. I think these ones actually sold out. And it's the second one that I've got because there was another release, but these are the little the pieces that came with the Ghostbusters toys. This one has super, super glow on it. Yeah, really nice. And then also, man, this is another thing that I love that just this is my second one now. The other one was on a different piece, but these little just squares of art that are in the bag, man. Always nice and simple. But that's it for the Yuckamuck piece, man. Really cool paint on there. Solid, solid job. Nice. Heavy.
I know it's a ghost, but for some reason it always reminds me of those old like gruesome prank thumbs you'd get out of like a gashapon.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
gumball machine.
Yeah, exactly. And there was a bunch of different color combos and stuff in these, and I'm pretty sure they're all gone. But if not, ask away.
They are. I think they're all gone now. For some reason, the yellow one was sitting there for a while. Maybe the yellow one's still up there. You might as well go look. Why don't take a little gander over at Yuckamuck's page, see what it's got. But there was a yellow one for some reason. I remember even actually looking at the post, going, "Fuck's everybody's deal with yellow? Why is that yellow one just chilling? What weirdos?"
Yeah. And the last one that we have for the evening is this little piece, man. This is a little piece from E2K. Now, it was advertised as being made by E2K, and everybody knows that this is the painting by Jonathan Queen. That's on that's on the side of the building now. But you know, Dustin is Blockwatch Captain. But this was actually released under E2K's name. So it's kind of an odd size. I would say it's like maybe a 6x6 card, kind of a lenticular design on the back with the kernel on there, man. But it's a really cool representation. That's kind of, I guess you would say, if E2K had a logo or a mascot, it would be this. And the work, if you've seen it on the side of their building done by Jonathan Queen, is just freaking amazing. That is a landmark, I think, for that entire city. The way that thing
for sure, man.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I think it's the whole side of the building, right? It's insane. But this is cool. This one, I don't know. It doesn't look like you can open this. This is one that I would probably keep in the on the card anyways, just because it's significant to the piece.
Well, it's a
but
great
really cool, man.
size.
It is. It's a really great size, and like I said, dude, it's got the lenticular backing on it, and you know what I mean? That's something that you don't see every day. But cool piece, and that's what we got for opens this evening, or this week, I should say.
Bing, bang, boom. There you go,
Bing,
man.
bang, boom, man. That's it.
There's some good grabs there.
Not bad. Yeah, man. We'll have some more. We'll have some more next week. There's some other stuff that's the Zimico pieces that came in today. Those are we'll take a look at those next week, and then some other stuff. But tabby time, dude.
We're gonna tab our way through, and then I think you and I are gonna get, dude. I look so. Anyways, Not that I care, but I feel like
You look
I feel
fine,
like a white ghost.
dude. You look fine. You just look you look tired. And you said at the beginning of the show that you were going to crash at some point. So thank you for making it 2 hours already. And
I keep
man,
looking at the clock, being like, "It's only 11 p.m. Why am I dying?"
see that's crazy, dude. It's 7:55 where I'm at, bro. I got the whole night ahead. Whole night ahead. My son's about to walk through the door with some In-N-Out burger.
Oh, fuck you.
Yes. So good.
Probably to get off this, have some peanut butter toast. There was one point I went for a pee. I was like, "Do I have time to slather?" No, just pee. Run back. All right. The first couple I've got pulled up here are actually going to be some from Street Fight SPDX, who was kind enough to actually send these my way. So I'm going to do a share screen, popping over and over the tabadoos. First one on the list is 976 Mask. Boom. You want to talk about some insane freaking craftsmanship and paint apps?
Holy what?
No shit, eh?
Those are wild. Now you said these are masks,
They're technically masks.
or okay, or are they just
Like,
bust? Man, so those are hollowed out.
that's
Huh?
why I'm saying mask is like, I would imagine this is almost like I don't know, a skin. What's that stuff? Dragon skin or whatever they call it. There's
Oh,
like
that
a
is,
prop rubber,
dude. The
maybe.
Reese's Pieces in the mouth, dude. That's amazing.
That does
Wow.
like insane job, man. Like, look at this gross shit.
Mm. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Like, what the fuck?
Wow. Mask making. Wow, that's an interesting deal there.
I've gotten to Michael Frenetic up mainly because I saw that he's dropping these guys, getting these guys worked on right now. I think they're a sick little sculpt. Keep your
Nice.
eyes on him. Boom. Boom. Another one from Street Fighter SPDX. Glip to go. We've talked about this a lot, man. There's something bizarre about Safubi makers when sometimes we'll just see them up and rolling and a very small following. Another example of somebody who's got some sick pieces already popping out there. Well, I guess that's picked up from another person, but
Clip to go. How big is that account, man? I have not heard of that one. That's cool.
yeah, 565 designer toys
Oh,
and monster
wow.
needs.
Mm, nice. Good one.
But oh yeah, but and you know what? Though, there's just a better, clearer image of it. It's like it's almost kind of like even what we were looking at before, right? Skeleton casting inside of some body.
Yeah. 208. Wow, is that a one-off or was that a run?
I'm thinking runs
Wow.
because like look behind this chap.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But even so, 3, 4, 5.
Wow. Nice, man.
But I mean, that's a dope sculpt. It's cool, man. Reminds me of the Moya Koima stuff. Moya Koma.
Yeah.
I'm probably saying that wrong. Moya Koya? Moth Creations. Boom. 450 followers. And like, dude, look at how insane that is. That's beautiful.
Wow. Wow. Miscreation toys, huh?
Collaboration custom with Moth Creations and Miscreations.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
That's a nice sculpt, man.
Yeah,
And the
dude,
paint
that's
app's
nuts.
sturdy, but
Have you noticed on the toy account recently, dude, that we have been getting an enormous amount of Subfubi emails, people asking us, and it's all spam, but it just seems
right.
like the last couple of days it's been going insane. I don't know if anybody else has come across it. I'm sure they have.
I'm finding a lot of the bots in the DMs asking us to join like weird group chats with a bajillion other
Yes,
people.
that's what I meant. That's
Okay.
what I meant. Yeah.
Spandex toys, art toys, patches, stickers, minifigures, custom toys, and gear. Closed edition of 3. Again, I feel almost bad, man. I didn't get a chance to really pull up some of these accounts and actually take them in. Got a Mandagore Destroyer, 3.75 figure prototype available. DM me if interested. 4 of 10. Wow.
Oh, let's look at that real quick. What are we looking at? What are we looking at, dude? Is that 3D printed or?
I would imagine 3D printed, maybe. I don't know, man. I don't really want to necessarily say anymore because if I don't know, maybe these aren't
Yeah.
casts. You know, I don't know. I want to say because of the layer lines here, maybe,
Right.
but maybe it's just the head. Uh, what do I know?
Yes. Yeah, I was looking at
But
the
then
lines
this,
too.
and easily solvable, or you like that aesthetic. It's tough to say. But yeah,
Yeah.
diamond printed.
Oh, there you go. Yep, yep.
Oh.
Okay.
But again, man, even Pocket Salsa's been using the 3D designing tools a lot. And I think for the guys who are kind of working a lot, traveling a lot, it is good that they've got that alternative at least. My tabs
Yeah.
exist. I'm a slack jaw yokel today. Boom. Now we're actually into the tabs that we were supposed to be showing last week, and I really wanted to show this one
Hmm.
off here. Uncle Spank isn't typically one of the guys who makes pieces in this scene, but he did end up casting up this guy here, and this now lives with Ordinary Toys. So I wanted to give him a little shout out for pushing through that guy and getting it all up and made, and just fucking congratulations to both of you guys, dude. That's a sick ass piece. And if you look at this, the card back is at least 20 to 30 years of 100% layered graffiti from Atlanta's world infamous Krog Tunnel. So it's the
Wow.
amount of graph history in this tunnel is insane. So again, man, like this is a dope ass piece. And I just wanted to make sure that we kind of highlight that for Uncle Spanky because I know he's
Dude, that is wild, man. That card back is layers of paint.
yeah. I guess they were tearing down or they were doing a construction on there because he was talking to me about that, and he had asked one of the guys like, "You mind if I take some of this?" And they're just like, "Yeah." Ordinary Toy probably knows the better story. Uncle Spank probably knows the full better story. I'm giving you the abbreviated version.
Yeah, sure, sure. Hmm.
I
Awesome.
did. I pulled up One Tricks tab there, then closed it without even talking about it. So if anybody wasn't familiar, some of these things are older now, but go check out that great work. I don't know how. I'm just. Anyways,
Yeah.
Zymatko. This giveaway this week is Pendragon soft vinyl piece I painted up with vinyl wonder paint. Wow.
I know, man. That's only for the Facebook group though, dude.
Well, join his Facebook group then,
I
dude.
don't be messing with the Facebook, yo. I don't touch it, man. Nothing but problems over there.
Whoa, drama llama down. These are gorgeous. Mr. Fish's Friday drop. Check it. Yeah, man. 2 p.m. Eastern
Dude,
Friday.
and again with the teeth, right? The little small little details on the teeth.
And beautifully done. I was looking at that too, where I'm just like, ah, I hate how just clean you are with that.
Well, and isn't it cool, dude? Like even that piece that I showed earlier, the giveaway piece that he sent, right? You have the ape, and you know the way the style that those are, man. It's I don't know. There's some sort of contrast that I can't really nail between the body and the makeup of the body, and then the fine detail of the teeth and the eyes. I don't know what it is, dude, but it's something that works so freaking good.
Well, and am I crazy or is that Astro Boy?
The lower half certainly looks like it. Yeah.
Okay. Shaped. Astro Boy shaped.
Yeah, there you go.
Zamiko killing
There's
it,
a perfect
homie.
example right there, man, of that of the teeth on that one. Look, God, that was nuts. This guy, who's this?
Dude, I thought this was fucking rad today because admittedly, like, come on, man. Those are all beautiful.
Dude, and the prices, bro. Like, I have not showed
Good
that
shot
much
drop.
restraint. Yeah, I had to show some restraint in that shot because I'm like, oh, such good stuff, man.
Yeah,
I'm
this recent
sure
drop,
everything's
35. Well, let's take a look. 35. Chilling.
still available.
Just chilling. Gone.
35 bones, a lab
Gone.
9 piece.
Gone.
Yeah,
Gone. Oh, 25. What the dick?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Insanity. But yeah, wild.
So good, dude.
You guys are fools.
Clean, 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 clean.
That's
And you
what
know
I was
what,
just
dude?
thinking.
You know what's funny, man? I don't want to get too off topic, but I went way back in his store because it looks like he had he's put some stuff back in there that's already sold, but it is a nice little category. I love that. It is a nice little category or collection catalog, I should say, um, of pieces. And I remember seeing some of those pieces in there, like the little scavenger piece. It's like a little Jawa. That thing was so cheap, dude. It was like 15, $20. And I remember seeing it being like, nah, nah. And now I'm like, what am I doing?
You know, sometimes you have to forgive yourself for doing what you could at the time with what you knew.
That's true. I'm like, oh, it's okay. I was just dumb back then.
Dude, there's a lot of makers like that, unfortunately, that for myself included, where you're just kind of like, I
Yeah.
just, I didn't know.
This is
Bunker
this
Rockets,
is cool, man.
I would agree. Big old drop of these guys, Screaming Claws done.
Yeah. I like that gecko, dude. I like how the gecko had the Drock TV logo on it. There you go.
Yeah, admittedly, I was liking
Oh,
these as well. I think that's how I got
DTN.
here for these.
Yeah,
But then ended up seeing the geckos and was like, well, I'm gonna pull up the gecko because that dude looks dope.
that's
Drock
awesome.
toy and novelty.
Yeah, DTN. I said DTV. That was wrong.
Drock, dude. I am curious. Are you what's going on here?
What? The
I'm just trying to
logo?
figure out. Yeah, how is this done in like painted?
Well,
What the fuck?
if you've seen the stickers that he have, it kind of looks like the old school MTV logo.
No, I know, but this isn't a sticker. This looks
Oh,
painted.
gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
And then I'm trying to picture how annoyed I'd be having to put a bunch of DTNs and striped painted shorts on a little gecko of resin. So Ruga Mark. Admittedly, I was just trying to get somebody who's going out to Tag Fest as Sir Scott Cherry let us know. Barbarian Rage told us today he'll be going over to Tag Fest as well. Anybody who's not familiar, get in on Tag Fest. I believe Tag Fest even actually has an account. Boom. Tag Fest 2023. Boom. Boom. Get on over here. Follow back. We suck. Here we go, though. Now we are. Tons of fun. Tag Fest.
There you go. Yeah, that looks like it's going to be a fun one, man. It's smaller, I think, but there's a bunch of stuff going on there. It's not just toys. There's all kinds of stuff going on there.
Some of those early small ones are the most fun. And
Yes.
personally, in my defense, the small ones are always the best.
I'll take your word for it.
For now. TNT plastic. I wanted to. Oh, this was my thinking last week when I had these in the tabs. I figured it would be a cool roll in for the fact that TNT Plastic had their Clutter Gallery show, which was dope as shit, and these pieces look dope as shit. But then on
Yeah,
top
no
of that,
kidding, dude.
Clutter Gallery also recently was holding an event that a bunch of our homies were a part of, which was the They Come from the Planet Sparkles, where everybody ends up picking a color and then they get divided out into that. They've also got some of this happening, but where am I here? No, they had a dope ass picture actually. I was looking at of the wall last week, showing off all the colors. Yeah, look how dope this would be, man. So that they came from the
Ooh.
planet Rainbow Sparkle, and then everybody's work is organized by like grouped by color.
Yeah. Wow. Dude, visually, that makes my eyes just melt, dude. That is sick. Damn it.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yeah. You imagine if you had like a huge collection and that's how you organize it by color? That would be
I know
so visually appealing.
it's visually appealing, but admittedly, finding a book I would want to murder myself. I know somebody who organizes their books based on Roy B. Gibb, not by author, not by series. They literally organize the books by the rainbow, and it aesthetically looks gorgeous. But personally, I would have a hard time if I was looking for the next book in a series and I had to try and find the red one, not the author.
It's weird, and that's funny. Scott was saying, how do you organize your collection, dude? And that's always like, that's a great point. How do you organize? I mean,
The pieces tell me where they're supposed to be. I lean
yeah.
in real close. I go, "Where do you want to be, buddy?" And he goes, "I come from," and I go, "Okay," because
Oh,
I'm insane.
all right. Well, now we know how you organize your collection. You just ask.
Pretty much, man. Oh, and I knew I was going to roll from that over into Kyle Kerwin. That's also
Ooh.
part of why I wanted to do it. So one of the things that I thought was really cool is that he did mention last time that we were on our chat that he does do molds. I believe it was actually even Sarah Bowes mentioned that he does do mold production services for anybody who's looking to, of course, do that. But looks like Homie is gonna have a whole bunch of new pieces coming out as well. So last week got a bunch of molds finished up. Test pulls came out rad. So keep your eyes over at the Kyle Kerwin. Homie's usually hanging out with us in the chat here. Boom. That's also kind of weird, man. I think there's a couple of dudes in the scene that when they say stuff like this 10 years ago that he's released, it's hard not to be like, you guys were doing something that is absolutely relevant again. Everything always comes back, right? And there's like, we've talked about it with Lab Monkey #9. Barbarian Rage was saying it this evening. There's certain things that like they're just so rad. You could totally rinse and repeat them at this point, especially if a decade has passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That
I'm
goes
just thinking,
Tattoo.
man, I think that would be, as far if I was, making toys, getting to that point where you have one kind of central figure and then you're just kind of switching that up and it's still bangers every time.
Well, again,
I mean,
so celebrating showing this self-portrait I did a couple years ago for my dude. This is rad as hell. So simple but so sharp, very Healy made vibe. Like this is sick, man.
Yeah. Love those fades and the colors too, dude. That's sick.
The gradients and the pour, and then this is so similar to like almost like the Micronaut vacuum forming that we'd see. It's just neato.
Yeah. Great backers too all the time by Nekasatsu.
Speaking of great backers, remember this
Oh
shit?
yeah.
That was wild, man. Sorry. That was a good show too. There was a lot of great pieces in that show.
Yeah, yeah.
This is not a toy scene. There's a couple of reasons I'm over on This Is Not a Toy Scene page. One, they're actually still showing off all the pieces that came out for the this show, which they're wild.
Yeah.
They're wild, man. Oh,
Look
the
at that,
totem,
dude.
the baby totems.
Yes, yes.
Like what the fuck?
That's
Toddler
crazy.
Pillars show. Like
That's nuts. Oh man, dude, the paint on that.
gorgeous. Like I don't think there was a bad one in the bunch, man. Every single one's a banger.
Those are so cool.
And to think that everybody started off with the same sculpt too, right? Like,
yeah. Dude, you see that one with all the eyes right there on the right? What the hell?
Oh my goodness. The hairs, bro. Oh,
That's creepy as shit. Oh man, those are wild, dude. God dang, look at those. What the hell?
I'm like,
Oh man.
Get a life.
Oh my god, dude.
Like astounding. And Pocket Salsa was the one that even kind of told us, like, yo, have you guys been seeing some of the ones dropping? I know we kind of went to do a loose creep when people were still working on them, but then like to dive in after now and see, it's like, oh, what the fuck? Jesus. Toddler Pillars. All right. And also I'm embarrassed because we suck. We weren't following.
Wow, that's crazy, dude.
And also I had the This Is Not a Toy Store up because they're actually currently have a Kickstarter up. That's the Triumvirate. I wanted to make sure I did this as well. We are live on Kickstarter. Check out the link in the bio. There's a huge amount of excitement. The team behind this Infamous This Is Not a Toy Store announced their newest project, now live on Kickstarter. So I believe it's going to be one of those situations where, man, bunch of people going together, getting vinyls pulled, allowing them to do mixed and match parts where they'll be able to kind of flow out different designs, kind of like how, I don't know, the Grody head gang ended up doing it.
Yeah.
Slacking on the tab knowledge today. Sorry, folks.
Yeah, bro.
October 19th, for sale, 7 available, C3PG. Got some Pamro toys. Dope ass piece, man, to be honest.
Yeah. Dope, dude. That one, and then there was also the the R2 that just came out too, the glowing one. Beautiful. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Pamro's gonna have some new stuff coming out. I don't know when, but definitely gonna be some new pieces coming out, dude. Looking forward to that. Yeah, nice. I love that yellow one, dude. Damn. Yeah.
That's a really nice cast on that.
Yeah, Pamro, man, always good stuff there. Good quality, solid price, man. Very highly recommended.
Did you see these guys yesterday?
I sure did, dude.
Radioactive meat marble.
Yeah.
Oh,
He actually showed those on Bootleg Overdose last week, which was actually on Saturday instead of Friday last week. But yeah, dude.
these are gorgeous too.
And you know, and there's another perfect example, dude, of a figure where you can just do it in pretty much any flavor or anything, and it's a banger, dude. The paint apps on these, and dude, they're so freaking cool, man.
Simian
Cheese.
This is why I was here. This is what we came here for.
There it is, man.
Man, he's just always fucking a gem, dude. The moment I saw the Heat tees, I'm like, what are you doing? You're hilarious,
Yeah.
man. Why? And then you see the faker Heat tee, and you're like, well, of course. How
Yeah.
can you not?
All right.
And I believe this brings us into our pieces under $30. These here, you've got one of these, and honestly, this is one of those situations where the picture does not do it justice. When he had these on the show, when he was flopping it around like a freaking little dilly, I was like, damn, those are bigger than I expected. Because unfortunately, I thought it was going to be closer to the size of the Man of Many Weapons that he makes. But it's actually closer to the size of, I don't know, man, like just a little toy, you know.
Yeah, let me grab mine real quick because that one that's there is that's a different version of that, I believe. That one looks like it comes in a can or something like that, or like a drink can. But this is, I mean, it's not all that big.
Okay, so that's what I thought too. That's the issue. Is
Yeah.
I've got one like that as well, and
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be that size. But when he was on, it looked like it was actually closer to this size, a lighter,
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah.
And he was all of a sudden, and he was wobbling it around, and I was like, oh, I need one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, that one, man. I don't know how many versions of those there are of those. Yeah, what's that say? Nakamura Punch.
Yeah, so 25 bones, man. When we're talking about pieces in the scene right now available for under 35 bucks, you can get yourself a Pez dispenser for 35 bones. Boom.
Yeah.
But he's always got great shit in the shop, man. I say
Really
that
does.
and also I scroll down, it's sold out. Well, at the moment, let him restock. He's brewing up a bunch of things for you. Hella Radical. Another person who has a bunch of things in the shop right now for under that 35, 30. Boom. Boom. 25 for this Dante Kane. 25 for a creature from the Black Planet.
25 bones, man. That is solid. That's a solid price. Better snag those up.
I know I've shown this maker off a few times. This is going to be MCCTX Toys. This is actually similar, much like Scott Cherry was talking about Double G earlier. Double G's part of this here. Like the Brockatal and what's the beat's name? Dead Beat. There we go.
Yeah. You know what's funny, dude, is this maker right here is one of the first pieces I bought from this scene, dude.
I think I remember discussing that. It ended up being this right
It's
here,
that dude.
Goliath Mystical Warrior. Great
Yeah.
price. Tiny Glyos.
Yeah, what did that say? $8?
$8. Yeah, dude. $13.
Yeah.
13, 9, like 20. This is one I usually have brought up before because I think it's really impressive. It looks really nice. It's really sharp.
Oh yeah, dude. $20.
And then otherwise, this is part of that OMFG series we were talking about earlier that we mentioned we feel is a little bit underrated. So, and then personally, man, this is what I really think is impressive about things like the Double G. And I know that Last Resort Toys has done it as well. Look how many people this actually helped get a factory toy. Charles Marsh, aka Monster Ford from South Carolina. Crawdad Kid, Phantom Outhouse Crawdad Kid was by Daniel Yu. Phantom Outhouse designed by Kyle Tay from Iowa, sculpted by Ralph Nees. King Caster, sculpted by Dominic Kempinski. So it's like, every time somebody does sets like this, it actually does help out multiple artists in the scene, not just George Gaspar, but even like John Spanky Stokes from California. It's like, yeah, man, every time that you guys do one of these waves of like 4 or 5 different individual sculpts, that's an opportunity that these artists get to have a piece made into a sculpt. I think that's really cool. That's that community shit.
Yeah. Straight
I don't
up.
know what that is. Feral Foundry. Now, I think at the time that I pulled this up, he had actually done this drop. The stitches, they're 4 segments, man. The suture cells. And then, of
Yeah.
course, this guy's always just fucking on fire. Like, he's always making things.
Mm.
Look at that desk.
Dude, yeah, he had some posts. I don't know if it was in the story, but he was showing like the first ones of a new series, I believe, and it was God, they were sick, dude. They had almost a serpent look to it. Yeah, sick, man.
I want to see if we've got some better shots of this guy because I want to see it from above. I want to see a bird's eye view, or at least a yeah. Look,
Oh yeah,
look what a cool freaking design. 3 colors on each,
yeah,
and then all the little different individual eyes. Man, we've said it like 1,000 times. Underrated artist.
yeah, straight up.
Resin Patch Kids. This is somebody I know have pulled up before as well. I think their work is really friggin' fun, man. I know Stormco Station's got a whole bunch of their work as well. Drops are live. Boom. 35 shipped. Plus 15 international, of course. Under 600, under 1,000 followers too. Cosmic Bird Customs, another artist we've shown off a few times. Man, I don't understand how this guy's not sold out all the time.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Mm.
This was his Halloween drop.
Yeah, dude, those are cool.
Like, fuck.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Oh.
Mm.
That's sex.
Now, are those at the end is the original concept art? Oh, is that an original character from him, or is that something that exists already? I don't know. Somebody tell me.
See, I have a hard time with this artist. And the one before this as well, like Cosmic Bird Customs even says there'll be 2 Battle Beast figures from the last year's available, 5 wolves, 5 water oracle god beasts. I think some of them are like the OGs. I think some of them are modifieds. But yeah, man, unfortunately, chat's gonna have to let us know if we're just completely stupid.
It's certainly possible.
Cosmic Beasts Wormhole Wolf. So in my opinion, it's like this is one of a few different beasts that will be available on Sunday. There'll be 2 Battle Beast figures from last year. So I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah, okay.
Fixed Temple Toys. Unfortunately, they're sold out now. I think originally I had it that we were going to try and advertise the fact this was happening, but we didn't do tabs last week, and now they're sold out.
Yeah.
Collabby with
Resin Rookie.
Which just I don't know, man. Congratulations, Fixed Temple Toys, on having that collab, man. That's a fun collab, dude. That artist has been in the scene for a while and is one that has quite the notoriety to do a collaboration with them. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, Resin Rookie. That's another one. I don't think I have anything from Resin Rookie, but I remember they've been around for a while, correct?
They were at least here before I got here, man.
Yeah.
Jack of all hobbies, and again, unfortunately, I think I might have missed this, but I thought it was great that they actually ended up doing some paint ups on the Glowman Dans that ended up being available in that Glowman Dan shop. And Jack of all hobbies does do quite a lot of different paint apps on pieces, so might be an account for some of you to follow. Boom. Like again, like oh, sorry, homie, but if this was what he was at before, starting work on a custom memorial, and then, you know. One of the other makers in our scene that could maybe use some people going and looking at his work, and Glowman Dan ended up actually having a drop recently. Lots in the store right now. 30 on the Glass Clear, 40 on this Giver, 40 on this guy. So yeah, quite a lot that can actually be grabbed up in the old Glowman Dan shop right now.
Man, I like those Givers, dude.
The Giver's a good one.
Yeah,
I think, did Dr. Plops do, yeah. I was gonna say, I think, but there it be.
That's very Dr. Seuss looking. You know what I mean? And I love the little the Gus inside there looking like a heart. That's cool.
Right.
Very nice.
Berry Studios. I think this is gonna be one of the last ones for the evening. I wanted to show this off because he's making custom toys, but it looks as if he's gonna be using rivets. And I know that somebody like Death and Strawberries gets all horn doggy when people are using rivets because he loves GI Joes for some reason. But new GI Joe retro style 3.75 O-ring muscular man, and like look how much better that looks when he doesn't have a big diaper.
Yeah.
I like these orange joints a lot more.
A big diaper.
And Stormico Station is going to be the last one for the evening here. I believe the last week I wanted to pull up some of his work, but unfortunately we ran out of time, and I really wanted to show off his work because I know he's a big supporter of the scene, and he has actually been getting some advice from Simi and Cheese, and he is taking the plunge and is going hams.
No, okay, time out. Now, this is, you're clicking on Facebook links. I was going to say, I haven't seen this before, so where's this coming from? Facebook?
So, for whatever reason, I guess, because Meta owns both of them, if I right-click on an image that somebody sends me in Instagram DM, it opens a Facebook link.
I gotcha. Okay. I was just going to say, I don't remember seeing those on his page, but, like, what's the deal? Are those for sale? Let me know, dog.
B-Man.
Yeah.
You got anything that you would like to deliver to us?
We just got that one more giveaway. Do you still have the wheel up? If you don't, we can
pull it up right now. And baby BOD, good chiming in because you are right in time.
Boom.
Boom.
But this is going to be another Barbarian Rage pack with, this is going to be issue number 2 of the comic book, which looks something like that. Bam. And it's going to be issue number 2. Boom. 3 more packs of cards. Bam. Resin piece. And then 2 stickers. This one, I love this sticker right here. I made a toy.
That's a beauty.
It is really cool, man. In the stocks. You made a toy.
In the stocks.
Yeah. Cool. So whoever wins that, that's what you will be receiving from Barbarian Rage. Again, Scott, thank you for sending those. We've actually had those for a little while as far as giveaways. And one more shout out I wanted to give on that front. Those the cards, the Barbarian Rage packs of cards were supplied by none other than Abraham from Yucko Toys. So thank you very much, sir. We do have a couple Yucko pieces to give away in the next few weeks. But a really nice Astron and a nice, really nice display box. Really cool. So anyways, that's that. Linz, take it easy, man.
I like that. So anyways, that's that. That's kind of like when you end your project in like grade 7 or 8 and you're like, and so, yeah.
Pretty much. So, yeah.
Which I like it. That's on brand for us, man.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for coming. We had fun. So yeah. And then just end. Alrighty.
So yeah.
If anybody hasn't been on the wheel and I somehow have missed you, please chime in. There is about a 1 to 2 minute delay, so we're not intentionally avoiding you if we haven't popped you on there. Crumbs is just blind. Baby BOD, I believe, is the last one that I've popped on there, and you are right. Those resin patch ones are sick. Baked beans. Couple baked beans, bud. Milk. Anyways, sorry. Oh, fuck.
I don't know what you just said. All I heard was something about baked beans in a weird voice, dude. That was funny.
Because for some reason, Stormico Station said baked beans, and then for some reason, you can't say baked beans.
Oh,
I see beans, bud. And then it's like, big glass milk, big, you know, you just started, oh,
I see it. I see
man.
It. Hey, dude, we did good on time tonight, too. 8:30.
Well, yeah, we were determined. I'm about to die.
but you got it. You went through a lot of tabs. You said you had a lot of tabs. I didn't know you had that many tabs. That was a lot.
2 weeks worth of tabs, baby.
Nice. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
She's having a seizure. Yeah. Call for help. Don't just laugh at me.
Porpoise. Awesome, man. That is cool. I was just talking to Porpoise today. And you know what we were talking about, dude, is probably something that we should circle back on later on at another time. But we were talking about online stores and just kind of you know, how those are working, why people are getting away from them, the fees that are increasing. What are your options as far as that? I know there are cheaper options, but after talking to Brett, it sounds like, and I'm sure you're very familiar with making web pages and whatnot. It sounds like, you know, if you have the know-how, you can kind of circumvent some of those charges There's always going to be charges. It's going to be less charges, I should say that. Brett said he was going to save a considerable amount of money during the year based on fees. So that's good. If anybody knows anybody that's a kind of like a professional in that manner that does that for a living that could offer services, direct them over to us, please, man. I'd like to get somebody on the show who can actually offer some real knowledge on that shit.
I bet you if we wanted, we could probably probe Death and Strawberries, but there's probably tons in the scene. Like, that's just it, man. We don't think about it often enough. I mean, we've brought it up a number of times, but like the amount of dudes, like humans, that everybody here has got to work, find a way of existing on this planet. They've got all these skills that.
Yeah. Baby BOD, I actually love that idea, man. Somebody else had that idea a while ago. I want to say it was Vomit, man, where they're going to make something available only by a mail order catalog. Bring that shit back, dude. That's nuts. That would be so cool. I would hate to be on the one who has to receive all that stuff, but it would still be cool.
I'm going to bride myself out that way. Anybody want a mail order bride? Hey! Sorry. I couldn't help myself. Once I noticed the hands were here.
Hey, yeah. Hey, Archie McPhee paper catalog. That's funny.
Man.
I was going to tell you to spin the wheel, dude, but we just spun the wheel, so I'm tripping. Next week, just added to the calendar. I don't know if you even saw it yet. Ocular Rhombus will be in the house next week, man. That dude has been, he has been on a spree as far as pieces go and releasing pieces. Check out that, check out the shop. There's lots of stuff in there at a really nice price. But he'll be on the show next week, man. So that'll be fun. Yeah, exactly, Eddie. That's what I was thinking, man. The person who is sending out the catalogs or doing that on the back end, what a fucking circus that would be, dude.
So you guys are talking about the catalogs, and I'm just gonna bring this up because I've thought this was would be a cool idea since like day one. Yes, the catalog is neat, where we see all of our homies in one big catalog. How dope would it be, in your opinion, if like 3 makers, 4 makers maybe came all together, each one made a toy, put them on a backer where you basically get 2 good guys, 2 bad guys, or sell them in 2 packs. Every 2 pack comes with 1 good guy, 1 bad guy. And I just think it would be sick as hell to see like our homies be like, I'm gonna make a bad guy, you're gonna make a good guy, we're both gonna cast one, you send me your good guys, I'll put them on a backer. And then just the idea of getting these sets, just like when we were kids, you go into a store, you didn't really know why they were packaged together, but one was obviously like a predominantly looking bad dude, and the other dude was obviously some kind of a robotic alien cop. Always.
Yeah. And then you take a picture of that and you put it in a catalog and you get the best of both worlds. Wouldn't that be cool though, dude? Mr. Ordinary says a Sears catalog, dude, with that really thin paper. That would be so freaking rad, dude, like an old school Mervin's catalog.
We'll get everybody to submit the images. Mr. Ordinary will actually draw every single illustration for the ads like they used to.
And then he'll deliver them to us. Ta-da.
And we'll make him deliver them to us.
There you go.
This is hell, bitch. Anyways, I think we can call it a night there, man. You are more of a wordsmith than myself. Do you mind giving one last little shout out to the old Barb Rage for coming on in here tonight and the homies in the chat?
Absolutely, man. Barbarian Rage, Scott, thank you for your time, man. Always extremely valuable, especially with everything that he has going on. The giveaways, thank you very much. But of course, dude, most of all your time. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's going to be a great show next week. Barbarian Rage, check him out at Tagfest this weekend. That's down in the Anaheim area. Show is only on Sunday. So if you're out there looking for something to do on Saturday, you won't be doing that. You'll be doing that Sunday. He's going to be there with Epoch. He's going to be at DCon coming up in the next few weeks. And actually, you and I will probably chat with him face to face at DCon, which will be cool.
We need to get like overly exaggerated, big giant like mics. Just big foam. I have to go and find some kind of like prop foam and just cut us big. So we'll have a tiny little mic handle, and every time we're like, hey, we can just bonk people and, obnoxious. Yeah.
And you know what's funny, dude? I was kept on saying like, "Oh, I'm just going to drive down for the day, then drive back, and blah 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 blah." Nope, booked my room last night, though. Oh man,
I'm glad to hear that, man. That'll be exciting. You deserve
yeah,
to just.
it'll be fun, man. It'll be December is going to be a hectic month for everybody, including the show. We got a lot going on, but it's going to be fun, man. December is last December was lots of fun, and this December is going to be the same. Yes, Street Fight. Good call, man. Retro Band does a mail order paper catalog like that called House of Secrets. Absolutely, dude. I actually framed the ad for that because it was a throw-in and it would look like an old school comic book on like old newspaper. So, anyways.
I'll give you a House of Secrets.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah.
I'll catch you in a few, man. We will. Oh, no, that's how tired I am. Catch you in a few, man. No, I will see you next week. We'll talk all through the week, but I'm not going to see you in a few. I'm not driving to your house. I'm not getting burglarized with you.
Well, I'm about to go stuff my face in that, as a
I
matter of
know.
fact. So,
It's been a blast. Chat.